How's it going, everybody? So, welcome back. This is the first watch party of the year, the first watch party in the new studio. Give me a thumbs up on the chat to make sure that you guys can hear me okay. With me is my former teammate and good friend, Brett. How do you say your last name? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Mores. Like
Mores.
I got more A's in school than anybody else.
Yeah, that's
which is a complete lie.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not true. So, first watch party in the new studio. What do you think of the digs, man?
It's a lot nicer than I thought, man. You have got some pretty good taste.
I spent pretty much all winter working on it. I wanted to do one in spring training, but never got around to it. So, Padres fan over here. Don't hold that against him. Neither of our teams is going to be in October this year.
Yeah, it's been a tough year. It feels a lot like 1997, to be quite honest. It's been a flat year. They haven't been able to get it going. To put that in perspective, 1997 for the Padres was a 70-win season. They won 90 games in 1996, but then they turned around and won 98 games in 1998. So,
do you remember when Greg Vaughn almost got traded to the Yankees in 97?
I think I do kind of recall that. He was having a real down year that year.
So I think he hit 50 home runs the next year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I think the year before he maybe hit like 17, 18. That's probably steroids or whatever. But it was going to be Kenny Rogers and Mariano Duncan for Greg Vaughn. I remember I remember it was like the weekend or whatever that Princess Diana died. We were up at this summer house vacation type of place that my parents' friends had, and I remember we were watching the Diana coverage all day, and like I wanted to watch Sports Center so I could like keep track of like the trades that were going down or whatever, and it ended up falling through because Vaughn failed the physical, and I guess whatever they gave him to rehab led to 50 jacks.
Well, it just so happened to be his free agent walk year, so.
So, anyway, got the Martian debuting tonight. So, I don't know how much you watch the channel. I know you watch some of the stuff, but I've been tracking Jasson Dominguez on YouTube since about 2019 or maybe early 2020. Back in, and this is for people who are just joining who don't know. I don't know how many people are watching. Looks like we got about 100 in the chat. Not bad for a pregame. So, back in, I want to say it was 2018, 2019, sometime like that. The Yankees gave Dominguez their entire bonus pool. He get like a international bonus pool. It's like $5.2 million. They gave him $5.17 or some ridiculous proportion of it. And they pretty much, first of all, that's the same strategy I use in OOTP. So like, it's always just like use all of your money to get the top guy. Right. So when the Yankees did that, I was like the meme, what was the guy's name? Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's like,
it's a little bit more of a sure thing in OOTP, though, I think.
Yeah. But I do have an all-time, you play OOTP, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm sure you've got an all-time player, and I do too. But let me finish the Dominguez thing, and then we'll get to that. So, they spend $5.1 million on him. He misses his first year because of COVID, like a lot of guys did. Got off to an okay start in the minor leagues, but wasn't like when he signed, he was the number one international prospect, and everybody thought he was going to be just like a rocket ship through the minor leagues. And he was, but his numbers weren't like, they weren't like Jackson Holliday's numbers,
Right. They weren't eye-popping.
Right. But the last couple of months in Double-A, he hit like 340 in Double-A, and then he was hitting like 420 in Triple-A. Mm-hmm. And everything off of his bat right now is like 100-plus exit velo. So I'm optimistic that he's put it together. I don't think the Yankees would take a chance on calling up this kid at 20 years old when you could wreck him. You know what I mean?
Right.
They must really believe in him.
Yeah. No. I looked at some videos, some highlights of him from this year, and he hits the crap out of the ball. He really barrels it up. I'm not really too worried about the batting average because if you're hitting the ball 100 miles an hour plus, you're going to find holes.
Right.
And
So I was going to say, we also got Austin Wells tonight. So he's the catcher. He was a first-round pick. He is, I want to say 24 years old. Lefty bat, good power. I've heard bad things about his arm. I've heard good things about like improvements in his catching or whatever. But it's another thing I just kind of want to see for myself. I want to see like if Altuve goes, how does it look? You know?
Right. Catchers take a little bit longer to develop. So maybe this is his time. It's time to see what he's got. So.
Yeah. Got a great mustache.
Hey, it's fitting right in.
All right. So do you have like an all-time OOTP draft pick that you remember?
Yeah, it was this guy named. It's a fictional one. It's a James Stewart, just like the actor. It was an outfielder, corner outfielder. He ended up hitting over 500 home runs. It was spanning like the years 1970 through 1990, so it was kind of like the golden age of
nice
when I was growing up, sort of David Winfield-ish. Real team leader on my fake OOTP simulation game.
So I drafted a high school student. His name was Marcus Catchings, and he was out of Texas. And he had like a 90-something contact like out of high school, and I needed a first baseman. So I was like, screw it. Let me put him in at first base and just like right out of high school, hit 394 as a rookie. Ended up breaking Pete Rose's all-time hit record with like 4,700 something hits. I signed him to this was back in OOTP 6.5, so a long time ago. This is like back when it was
I go back to a 3.
Yeah, so it was a simpler game back then. And I remember I literally played like every game of his career, and he had like a 20-year career and went in the Hall of Fame. And I gave him a contract that back in the day it'd be like somebody getting $1 billion today. I gave him like $600 million over 15 years or something like that. I'm like, he is never going anywhere. I love OOTP, man.
Yeah, I kind of have a rule that you have to get rid of guys by the time they get to 32, but there's a couple guys that you just hang on to because they're your guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm digging it. So are you a MLB The Show player?
Oh, yeah.
So I like MLB The Show, but I feel like it's getting stale. Like the last couple of years, there's some good stuff. Like the graphics are incredible now. I feel like the drafting and stuff has gotten more fun. But like baseball's such a long season. To play 100 games and I feel weird like simulating games, and I'm not a big online guy because like I don't play it enough to get like I'll get demolished. But I don't know. I just feel like he's getting stale.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think OOTP keeps things a little bit more fresh, even though it's not as action based.
Stephen L says, "Who is this with, Derek?" So this is Brett. Brett and I played baseball for a long time in the semi-pro ranks, the old men leagues. Brett remembers back when I actually had a fastball. But you were the witness to like my last good game pitched.
Yeah, no, Derek, you could throw some cheese. Had a good bender too.
Nah, but no rotator cuff, no labrum, so those are essentials. What are your thoughts on the Astros, man? How do you feel about that whole 2017 thing? Like, are you over it now, or do you just kind of like?
Yeah, I'm kind of past it. It might be a little different for the teams that they were facing in the postseason. Of course, I never had a dog in the fight against them. Padres were pretty trash back then. They're pretty trash now, but
yeah,
they were expected to be trash back then. Yeah, I'm pretty past it. I don't know if it's still going on or not. I've heard kind of rumors that kind of every team kind of looks for an edge. But what do you think?
So I'm kind of over it. Like I was pissed in the beginning too, but the Altuve buzzer video was like my 4th or 5th video, and it got 60,000 views. It took my channel from like nothing to, over the like 100 subscriber mark,
right.
Which was huge for me back then. And so I don't know. I kind of feel like without the Astros cheating, there wouldn't be an NYY Recaps.
Yeah, but you know what? I do think it kind of it is that mantra, all news is good news, even bad news is good news. Yeah. I think it helped the game. It helped publicize the game, put it in some headlines, and get a little bit more viewership.
All right, so Justin Verlander taking his warm-up. So I'll kind of do a little bit of play-by-play, but I'm not going to do I'm not a play-by-play guy, so I'll probably lapse we're mostly going to just talk and like observe the game. I want to get your opinion on Juan Soto. So Soto is a guy that Yankee fans have been salivating over really his entire career. Every time that the Yankees have faced him, he's crushed them. He's 24 years old, massive power. We obviously were linked to him in a lot of the rumors last year before the Padres got him. Now you've had him for 2 years. What are your thoughts on Soto? Do you think they would possibly move him? Is there talk of an extension? I have not been following it at all.
No real talk of an extension. I think they're going to see how this offseason plays out. I really think they're going to go hard after Ohtani. I don't think they're going to throw the money at Soto, not because he doesn't deserve it or they don't like him. He's a great player, but I think that they might be willing to even entertain some offers on him in the middle of the season, maybe in the offseason. I think they'd have to get bowled over with an offer, though.
Yeah. All right, DJ LeMahieu stepping in, Star Insurance Patch. So if you want to line up your broadcast, Verlander is kicking and firing and strike, bottom of the zone, 93. So one thing that's interesting about Verlander, I figured when he signed with the Mets, we were pretty much done with him except for interleague play or World Series. We have faced him 4 fucking times this year. He is shoved 3 times. This is the 4th time. And DJ hits it well to right field.
Damn.
And deep and
It
gone!
is high. It is far. It is gone.
He's back, baby. I'm telling you, yesterday was the final game in the pre-Martian era. Yanks are going to score 29 runs tonight, and the rebuild is finished. DJ LeMahieu with a leadoff opposite field home run. And the Yankees take a 1-0 lead off of the nemesis.
Man, I was going to say, this is a tough assignment for Dominguez in his first game against Verlander, but Yankees so far are showing him how to do it, how to hit.
So, Judge fouls one away. I'm going to be taking copious notes because I've got to do a recap after this. Now seems like a good time to mention there will still be a recap after tonight's game. The recap is my bread and butter, but as much as we've been following Dominguez, we had to have a watch party tonight. So, Judge takes the 0-1 pitch for a strike on the outside corner. 85-mile-an-hour slider. What was that home run number 14 for LeMahieu? Yeah, 14th home run. His average now continues to climb. It's up to 245. You know, he stays hot. He might hit 260, 270 this year. Judge bounces out to third. Williams says, DJ is back, baby. Yeah, that was a meatball. That was a fat meatball.
Beautiful swing, though.
Fat meatball is what I call my cat, Dexter. That's definitely gone to Yankee Stadium, too. Mm-hmm. If it's gone in Houston, it's gone to Yankee Stadium, too. Here's Volpe batting third. How much have you followed Volpe this year?
Just from your videos, pretty much.
Yeah.
From what I understand, he's been steadily improving.
So he got off to an okay start the first couple of games, but then went into a month-and-a-half long slump as he swings through a high fastball. Since Sean Casey got here, he's been better. There was a time in early June, I would say June 3rd or 4th, 1-1 count on Volpe, that he went and had dinner on an off day as Volpe hits one hard at third base. Nice play by Bregman. Fires, gets Volpe. He went and had dinner on an off day with Austin Wells, who's catching tonight, making his debut. And Wells said to him, hey, look, you were, more closed in your stance last year. Why don't you go back to that? So he goes back to that, immediately gets hot. About a month later, they fire Dylan Lawson, the hitting coach.
That's probably the reason.
Right. So, where were you on this, Dylan? Did you not notice, did you not look at film I would have done it. If I didn't know they were doing it, I would have fucking done it.
Right.
So, anyway. Giancarlo steps in. He scorched that one, though. So, anyway, he's been better since they hired Sean Casey. He's using right field more. He's, having better. He's not overmatched as much, Mm-hmm.
Oh.
0-1 pitch hangs in there. Jasson Dominguez on deck. About to have the first at-bat ever from the Martian, so do not change that channel. That's assuming that Giancarlo Stanton can get a hit, or reach base somehow.
I'm actually interested. Dominguez is in the 5-hole. You think usually guys making their debuts hit a little bit lower.
Like 8, 9.
Yeah.
Maybe not 9, but
especially
definitely
against a future Hall of Famer.
I remember when Ricky Leday, who was their top prospect, made his debut. He was hitting like 7th or 8th. Andrew Calabria says, where do you think Ohtani will sign? So Brett thinks that San Diego is going to be big on it. I think they're going to be big bidders, but ultimately I think the Dodgers are probably the favorites.
I agree.
I mean, he won't have to probably move. You know what I mean? Like, he could probably stay where he is. He could probably take a helicopter to the games, you know?
Yeah, I really do think that he's going to sign ultimately with the Dodgers, even though the Padres are going to make a big push. I think the Dodgers, I'll admit it, even though they're a rival, they have a superior organization in terms of development and just being in a position to win consistently every year. So yeah. I don't see why not.
But the whole UCL thing is going to mess that. It's going to be fascinating because, is he going to pitch ever again? Why not have the surgery now so you could at least, be ready to play first base or play the outfield next year, right? So the fact that he's not having it at all, that tells me he doesn't want to pitch.
Really?
Well, I mean, if you ask a doctor, and this is something Ken Rosenthal said on Foul Territory, if you ask a doctor, like, I have a partially torn UCL, I want to pitch again, what should I do? They'd say stop hitting, They say have the surgery immediately and you can, rehab. You can still hit while you rehab as a pitcher. That's what he did the first time. But so it is 3-2 on Giancarlo, one more bad one, and we will get the Martian. 3-2 pitch. Just low.
Oh,
Verlander threw the slider low, and that will bring up the kid, El Marciano.
He's a thick dude, man.
All right, enough of that. All right. Verlander sets. First pitch is a breaking ball strike outside corner. Jasson does not look phased. He's smiling.
Looking relaxed.
Yeah. We got to talk movies tonight, too. I got a movie you got to see. Second pitch hit well to left field and deep and gone! He takes Verlander! Oh, holy shit! Opposite field! 2-run home run off of Justin Verlander. As David Cohn would say, he gets a brand name. His family is going apeshit. They're hugging each other.
As they should. Damn.
Wow! Opposite field? Listen, Michael Kay says all the time, you don't get a nickname like the Martian without doing incredible things like Godzilla. Right? You call Matsui Godzilla. You have to do Godzilla-ish things to get a nickname like that, You know
what's great about that is that he can go 0 for his next 10 and still be okay because he did that.
Oh my goodness. Opposite field home run.
That's great hitting.
Hustling around the bases. Second pitch he saw in the major leagues. I can't believe it. The reactions from the fans. Brad, we got a fist bump on that one.
That was great.
Oh, man. Let's hear it in the chat for Jasson Dominguez. That ball is on Mars. Close encounter. Clip this, Frankie. Go ahead and tweet it out. We'll retweet it. My goodness. Unbelievable.
Oh, what a great swing, man. And what I saw from his highlights, he's much more comfortable hitting from the left side than the right. Very different swing from the right side, almost Fred McGriff, like unbalanced.
It's like the helicopter. Yeah. This is the instructional video that gets results.
Right.
You remember that?
Yeah, but he seems like he hits for more contact from the left side. Maybe he might have more raw power from the right side. Do you think he's going to stay a switch hitter?
I think so. I mean, like, I've seen him hit, both ways. He's a good hitter. He drives the ball from both sides of the plate. More importantly, he's got good plate recognition from both sides of the plate.
I looked at his splits. It was pretty even.
Yeah. And he's thick with 2 C's too, boy. You can see where he gets like the Mike Trout, Bo Jackson comparisons.
Yeah.
It's body type, man.
He's like a running back.
And that is the first 2-run home run hit by a Yankee in 3 months.
2 Oppo tacos.
Aaron Judge went deep in his first at bat too, but so did Tyler Austin. So I wish I could have heard the call a little bit better because we got the volume so low. But unbelievable. The Martian has landed. Tiger Drew says, has that ever happened before? It happens often, actually, as guys hit their, home run their first at bat.
Some on their first pitch.
Yeah. Former Yankee hitting coach Marcus Timms hit a home run on his first pitch against Randy Johnson. High fastball, tomahawked it. But, I mean, that was a beautiful swing, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The ball was up. It was on the outside part of the plate, but he went with it, and he drove it the other way. He just put the bat on the ball, and you could tell he just hits the crap out of the ball.
Somebody's like, I was just joking about how long it's been, like, since the Yankees have hit a 2-run home run, but they almost always hit solo home runs. They played a series against the Tigers this week. They hit 8 solo home runs.
That's why you need Juan Soto, so you can have someone in base in front of Judge.
Right.
One knock against Soto is that he might look at too many pitches.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got some reactions coming in. I'm going to tweet some stuff out here. Thank you, Frankie Baseball, for clipping that. That's an at-bat that will live in infamy, man. Rodon's been kind of a disappointment this year.
Yeah. Chronic back issues, huh?
So he missed the first half of the season, and then when he came back, he somebody said Martian's OPS is 4,000. I love baseball fans, man.
He just needs to steal a home run here. Then he could already have like 1 WAR after 1 inning.
How you guys like this format? This is like the official 2-person studio. I've been waiting to break this out. Hey, Dutchie. That's my cat, Dutchie. So this whole rest of the game, they're just going to show Dominguez standing in the outfield. That's how you know somebody's done something good. When, like, the camera just cuts to them doing nothing, like, scratching his ass. Like, let's just stare at him for 5 minutes.
Like when Strasburg made his debut and struck out 14, like, the camera's on him even when he's just sitting in the dugout drinking water.
Dude, Strasburg's debut was the greatest debut I've ever seen. Did you watch that live?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did, too. So that was tough because Phil Hughes was pitching that night, and he was my favorite pitcher. But they kind of got the little screen. Like, they were on either my phone or my laptop or whatever it was. And Strasburg got the big screen that night. Oh. Man, that was great.
I know, right?
I mean, that's ridiculous. 1-4, 5.97 ERA this year for Carlos Rodon.
It's the best thing that could have happened because I know how hard it is for rookies to make it on the Yankees. You know, you gotta come in hot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not a lot of rope. That's why I was kind of pleasantly surprised with Volpe, you know, sticking with him all summer.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was good.
I love having all the kids in the lineup, man. And look, none of our other rookies other than Volpe have done jack. Like, so Pereira's, I think, hitting 107. Peraza's hitting like 126. Oh, kitty, quit it. So we needed one of these kids to hit. I'm glad it was the Martian. And now we got to see Wells. He's going to be up next inning. I'm trying to get a look at Wells behind the dish, but it's tough to really know without having the data, because every camera angle is different. Like, how's he actually framing versus, what's the analytics going to tell you,
And is he calling this game?
I
don't know.
I bet they're calling it. Hey, get down, cat. Psst. So Wells actually caught Carlos Rodon on a rehab assignment. Yordan Alvarez. As my cat sits in front of the screen, trying just to drive me nuts because he knows that the squirt bottle is out of reach. And he knows when I don't have it handy, I'll get up and get the squirt bottle. Don't think I won't do it. Frankie, by the way, you're still watching. This is perfect for the out of context reel. So the Yankees have some kids. They got, I think, 5 or 6 kids in the lineup that are under 25, and Torres, who got scratched from the lineup, is 26. I got to add that to my notes.
Ooh. So has Rodon been able to throw with any kind of velocity? Last year it seemed like he was up in the upper 90s.
We've seen some 98s. It's usually down in the beginning of the game, and then it gets stronger. So I'm becoming friends with Eric Kratz because, we work on Foul Territory together. And there's 2 types of people. There's people who show up to the meetings on time, and then there's people who show up early. We're both people who show up early. I like to get to meetings 5 minutes early. And so, we talk breakfast, we talk whatever, and we were talking about the Martian, so I sent him a Martian hoodie. So now I'm going to have to break his balls to wear that hoodie on Foul Territory because Dominguez went deep in his first at-bat. Man, that's who also hit.
Can you think of any other Yankees who hit home runs in their first at bat?
Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge did it in their first at bat back to back.
Really?
Right, it was the first time it's happened in Major League history. I believe still the only time. And then Marcus Timms. I feel like there's somebody else. I know Clint Frazier went deep in this very ballpark in his first game. I'm trying to think of any. Alfonso Soriano wasn't his first at bat, but his first hit was a walk-off home run.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can't think of any Padres who hit home runs in their first at bats. Sure, there is though.
Bobby, Yankees fan, says most excited he's been all year. Me too. I'm like, seriously, I'm buzzing. Like that's the best moment of the year. So this has got to be the best battery combination of mustaches in the league now, right? Carlos Rodon and Austin Wells.
I think it's pretty on point. He's got the hat tilted to the side. He's got the swag going. Looks very relaxed.
He's like everything that you hear about him is that he's a great kid too, right? I mean, so you get to watch Fernando Tatis, who's the opposite of that. Great player, but like all the fights in the dugout and stuff like that. Like he gets the whole selfish reputation. Dominguez is seen to be kind of like almost like Jeter, like kind of like
businessman,
soft spoken, humble. Although he did post a video on Instagram one time of a cockfighting match. And I was like, that's interesting. But I guess it's the Dominican Republic.
It's a little different down there,
That's
right?
that's like football there.
Yeah. Well, guys like Dominguez, Tatis, Rodriguez, they play this game at the MLB level at such a relaxed state. It's like they're playing in the backyard with their friends, while everybody else is just gripping hard.
Wild, 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 wild. So now we're going to get Austin Wells this inning. Lori C. says, that was the most excitement we've had in a long time with this deadbeat team. Have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
No, I
Dude.
haven't. I have a 9-year-old daughter, so
That's true.
I had to watch Barbie instead.
I went and saw Barbie. It was
clever.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
I wish my job was beach. Like, that was pretty funny.
I know. I was weirdly jealous of Ken.
Will Ferrell. Can't beat Will Ferrell. I went and saw the Equalizer 3 movie last night with Denzel.
Yeah, I want to see that one.
That was wild. In my opinion, way better than the second one, right on par with the first one. And my friend Rob pointed out that it's kind of like a Western. Like, it's in a very small town in Italy, and it kind of feels like it's got like a Western vibe in retrospect. So, according to Brian Hoke, Dominguez is the 6th Yankees player to homer in his first at-bat, and the first since Judge and Austin went back-to-back in 2016. I saw that one as well. I was putting together a coffee table. But yeah, I mean, great swing from Jasson. I mean, like, driving the ball the other way off of a Hall of Fame pitcher. It looked like a breaking ball, too.
Yeah, I think he just hung it out there
Yeah.
a little bit. You know, he's obviously it's evident that Verlander doesn't have his best stuff tonight. He's leaving it up, but good swing.
Someone says, as a trans woman, I appreciate the trans rep in Barbie. And as a communist, I appreciate the good communist rep in Oppenheimer. That's somebody you don't meet every day, a trans communist.
There you go, Con.
I don't mean to laugh at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing. That's just a very unique combination.
Hey, you do you.
Word Lifer says, Wells looks way more nervous than Dominguez did. Well, he's sweating out his eyeballs, but he's been catching too. So,
yeah, well, he's in the camp that's gripping.
So he's got number 88. They gave these kids number 88 and 89. Hopefully they give Dominguez a real number after that. But
yeah, well, aren't the Yankees running out of numbers?
yeah, start giving guys like letters X, Y. Duchess has just been sitting right in front of the TV because she knows I don't have the water bottle, and it's pissing me off. All right, she sat down. 1-0 to Wells. Cut on and missed. Trying to put that one in the upper deck. Andrew Calabria says, I'm telling you, Dominguez is going to help Judge carry this team to a pennant. I think he's going to be special. Wells takes a strike. Breaking ball. Like a cutter, maybe? Slider? I also watched I watched a lot of stuff this week. My mornings off now. And so I've been watching... We watched The Meg 2, which is Jason Statham, giant shark. Absolute dog shit of movie. Like an abomination.
I could have told you that.
I know, but like, big shark. Hey, quit it, Dutchie. Psst. Hey, go swat her. Swat her. Get down. Duchess was chewing on my little model car. 3-2 to Austin Wells, and he fouls it away.
He's battling.
Good at bat. You'll take it.
Work back from 1-2.
Definitely got a good left-handed swing. That's like a strong finish to a swing. You feel like he's going to be a bigger kid, too. Like, rip to right field. There's a base hit.
There you go.
First big league hit for Austin Wells.
Throw that ball into the dugout. Don't throw it in the stands.
Yankees already have more hits in this game than they usually get. Like, they've got 3 hits now. Most nights it's like 2 hits.
You have to usually wait until like the 6th inning for that, huh?
What a night. Here's Pereira. He's done jack. It's going to be nice to beat the Astros and Verlander with the kids. That'll be beautiful.
No, there was a report a few weeks back about the Padres, trying to do anything they can to ignite the season, calling up one of their prospects, Jackson Merrill, who's like 20 years old, which I thought was just dumb. It's like, why would you call up a guy just to try to inject some energy in your big club and potentially just like ruin them, right?
Yeah. Well, energy, can be contagious there. Hopefully he doesn't lock her next to Tatis, though. Frankie says Jason's going to go home with Kate Upton. Or what's her name? Is that her name? Kate Upton?
Yeah.
That reminds me of the funniest tweet I ever saw. It was during the Trump inauguration, right? Bill Clinton was hitting on Melania. Somebody said, I think it was Bill Maher tweeted, Clinton's going home with Melania. # still got it. That was the best. Lori C says she wants that shirt. Send me your address, Lori. It's time for your yearly mod package. This one's chopped to third by Pereira. And did the second baseman blow it? They're going to say it was transfer.
Oh.
Maybe they're going to challenge that. Yankees are going to take a look.
Man, I don't know.
He's out.
Really go either way. Some of these rules,
Yeah.
like the catcher blocking home plate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, though. I like the pitch clock. I like how, the games are kind of quicker.
I like it, too.
The innings where there's runs scored, you don't really notice it, but like the 1, 2, 3 innings are quick, like really quick.
No, I'm a big fan of the pitch clock. The bigger bases, you don't notice. The pickoffs, the limited pickoffs, I haven't really seen an issue with that this year. I still hate the extra inning runner, though.
I miss going to games. It's been a while since I've been. I'm going September 22nd and 23rd to Yankee Stadium.
Oh, that's great.
It's gonna be dope. You ever been to the Padres ballpark?
Oh, several times. It's beautiful, man. No bad seat in the house. Great food, great beer. Just wish they had a winning ball club.
You know what? I've never liked that building they have in left field, the Western Supply Company or whatever. I never loved it.
Oh, I really like that.
I just think, it just doesn't fit with a baseball stadium. Like, you want to see an upper deck, like they could frame a home run. You know what I mean? But somebody clanks one off a building. Like, I don't like the one in Houston where it's just like a wall above, like a line, and then brick wall above it. Like, I feel like there's got to be a fence for it to go over. You know what I mean?
It's funny. They actually moved that building 3 blocks in order to put it in its spot to be the left field foul pole.
Ugh. What other stadiums you been to?
Oh, gosh. I was at the Oakland A's. The only time I was at the Oakland A's stadium was at their 20th win in a row game.
Oh, you were at that game?
I was at that game.
Hatterberg game.
Yes. It was a great game. I went there by myself. I was supposed to meet some friends. It's when I was going to University of Pacific in Stockton. And I was a couple hours away from the Coliseum. They'd won 19 games in a row. A couple friends said they were going to the game and to meet them there. And I went there, and it turns out they didn't end up going to the game. They ended up staying home and getting drunk. And so I was there by myself, and I got a scalp ticket. I got in. It was 11-0. The A's were winning, and they were cruising. And then all of a sudden, the Royals start chipping away, and Scott Hatterberg's game-winning home run landed 2 sections to my right. I was sitting in the right field bleachers, right next to the right field foul pole.
Have you ever looked for yourself on the video?
Many times. I am just out of frame. Of course, it's all blurry anyway at this point because everything's so pixelated. But
Yeah.
But I still have, every time I see that clip, that Hatterberg home run, I still see it from my perspective. It coming basically towards me and to my right.
That's cool. I was at a game. It was June. I want to say it was June 8th or June 6th, something like that. 2008, final season at Yankee Stadium. 105 degrees in the at Yankees. I mean, it's just the hottest day you could ever imagine. Like, they got water stations everywhere. We're sitting out there in the bleachers, and the Yankees played, like, I think it might have been the longest 9-inning game in team history. They won 14-13 or something like that. Johnny Damon was 6 for 6 and had a walk-off hit. Giambi hit a long home run. Posada hit a home run. That was the craziest day. And so that's a fun story. I'll tell that as we do this inning. So first pitch from Rodon. So that morning, I had been up there with my buddy Kyle, and Kyle's a North Carolina through and through, from Smithfield, never been to the city. So we drove up there and we're exploring Ground Zero, and we get the fake watches in Manhattan and things like that, just seeing the Statue of Liberty, all the things he wants to do. And we stumble on this store called Grand Opening Closeout Sale. And we go in there, and it's all the shit you see on TV, like the Sham Wow and the slap chop nuts, whatever. And in the back, there's this giant wall of $1.99 porno DVDs. Giant wall. And it is crazy. And we're thinking, man, everybody wanted souvenirs. What if we just brought everybody porn? So we were going to bring bags of porn for people. So we got these two,
it's a great excuse for you to buy a lot of porn.
Well, yeah. We got two huge handfuls of porn. We're like, wait a second. We're going to Yankee Stadium in about an hour. They're not going to let us in with a bunch of porn. Let's put the porn back. Let's go to the game. And then after the game, we'll come back down. We'll get the porn, and then we'll go back. And we'll, go to a hotel and head back to North Carolina. So we go and we sit through this longest game ever. And then we get back on the subway, go downtown, and buy all this porn in the paper bags or whatever. We take a subway to the bus station, then get on the wrong bus and get dropped off like at a totally different part of town. We got to walk the Jersey Turnpike back to our hotel, about 5 miles. At this point, by the time we do this, it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night. It starts hailing, and we're walking along the Jersey Turnpike, cars zipping by at like 90 miles an hour, and it's hailing, and we're carrying these bags of porn and fake watches.
Imagine if a car hits you, it's like, that's how they're going to find you.
Right. Yeah, just two guys on the side. That'd be like one of those great unsolved mysteries. Two men found on the Jersey Turnpike covered in porno. Anyway, so we get back to we sludge along the turnpike. We end up on the other side of the road from a hotel, and we got to go across the median, and there's like a fence in the middle. Otherwise, we would have to walk like another mile and go and do like a U-turn and walk back. So we screw it. Let's just jump the fence. So we throw all of the porn into one bag, and we throw it across the parking lot as this one is crushed to left field by Abreu. And that one is long gone. Astros on the board. Anyway, so we chuck it into the parking lot. We go and we get across the highway, and we pick up the porn, and we walk into the hotel. And just as we're getting there, there's like a family checking in late at night. And as we're walking by, my friend who's carrying the bag breaks open and spills porno DVDs all over the floor in front of my friends. Or in front of that family.
The universe has great timing.
It was pretty fantastic.
No,
Frankie found it. June 7th, 2008. So I was off by a day. Yankees 12, Royals 11, Damon 6 for 6.
Wow.
Frankie baseball coming through in the clutch.
Now going back to the ballparks, I remember going to Fenway Park and sitting in the right field bleachers, and man, Boston Red Sox fans are just ruthless. They were playing the Mariners, and this is back when Ken Griffey Jr. was still on the team.
Right.
And so this kid that must have been about 10 years old was wearing a Ken Griffey Jr. Jersey, and every time Ken Griffey would come up this kid would walk out into the aisle with his glove and wait for a home run to be hit at him. And every time Ken Griffey didn't hit a home run, he would turn around, walk back to his seat, kind of with his head down. And these Boston Red Sox fans would just light this kid up. Griffey sucks. Sit the F down. What do you think you're doing here? Like, it's like the kid was 10.
Right.
Like, no mercy.
Griffey was unbelievable in person. He was so smooth in the outfield, like he was gliding.
Still the best swing.
Oh, unbelievable bat speed.
Can you imagine him at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, so he hated the Yankees, but I can imagine it because every time he played the Yankees, he'd put one in the seats.
Right? He should have just pretended every team he played was the Yankees.
Man, that was crushed. That's been a problem for Rodon. Last year, he only gave up, I think, 12 home runs. This year, he's given up already, I think, 11 or 12 in a fraction of the games.
Man, it looks pretty hot there in Texas.
Two-two pitch. Good cutter. I'm ready. My body is ready for that second Dominguez home run. So I'm having a contest on Twitter. If he gives up, or if Jason gets 2 hits, I'm going to buy somebody a number 89 jersey who retweets the status from a couple of days ago. And Frankie's going to help me pick the winner on the post game. He's got to get a second hit, though. Strike 3. Rodon gets the K. 96.
I wonder what the record is. Like, how many home runs in a debut?
Somebody has to have hit 2, right?
Yeah.
I doubt anybody's ever hit 3.
Right. I bet a lot of people have hit 2, though. I mean, handful.
All right. That's a job for the stat sleuths in the chat. Find out who's had the best power in a debut. Multi home runs. I'm sure somebody's hit 2. Maybe somebody's hit 3.
Maybe went 5 for 5.
Yeah. I remember that Shane Spencer in '98. It wasn't his debut, but his first 2 home runs came in a game, and he was 5 for 5 in that game. That was against the Royals.
Yeah, he came out of the gate hot. I remember Kevin Moss.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. That was the last time the Yankees offense was this bad. Kevin Moss was your best hitter, right? It was you sit around and wait for Moss or Matt Noakes to hit a home run.
Oh man, Noakes.
This one's ripped into the corner. Rodon throwing some BP. Rodon has 2 strikeouts so far in this game, THG. Man, I still can't fucking believe that. They both got Verlander in the first at bat.
It's still so weird to see Verlander in an Astros uniform again.
Yeah, we did not luck out.
Can you imagine if you were in a coma right after you got signed by the Mets and then you woke up, you'd be like, wait a minute, did I go back in time?
What do you think of these Astros uniforms?
I'm kind of partial to the 80s kind of uniforms.
Oh, with the stripes?
Yeah.
Those are dope. I like those.
But then again, I like the Padres Taco Bell uniforms. Kind of weird.
I don't like the camouflage ones.
Nobody likes the camouflage ones.
Do they still wear them?
Yeah. They stink. They only do it because of the military.
Oh, I get it. That's cool. But it's not a good look.
No, it's not.
You can't see them.
Nobody likes them. Nobody likes them.
William M. says, Rodon needs to get better. Agreed. 97 up out of the zone.
Well, you know who might be available from the Padres and after next year is Hassan Kim. And he's been the one bright spot this year for the Padres. Man, I'm really proud of that kid. He couldn't hit anything when he came.
He's got a pretty high WAR. It's like 5 or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when he came up, he couldn't hit anything over 95. I was really worried. But now he's really turned himself into a solid ball player.
Dominguez fires to third. Good arm, but too late. I like the way he positioned himself on that fly ball. Dominguez in center field. So Frankie Baseball says, ask your friend, Brett, about Scott Brosius. So is he with the Padres right now?
They're probably referring to 98.
Oh, when he won the World Series MVP?
Yeah, I remember game 1, Padres were winning 5-2 in Yankee Stadium, and I thought, man, we might actually have a chance. And then Richie Garcia blew a strike 3 call to Tino Martinez, who then proceeded to hit a grand slam on the next pitch, and it was over from there. But to be honest, nobody was beating that 98 Yankee team.
No.
That was a beast of a team.
Yeah. I remember that Tino pitch well. I remember I was on the couch watching that, and I was like, oh, like I flinched. I was like, ooh, they didn't call it. Ooh, and then next pitch, upper deck.
The sense of dread after that pitch.
So the Yankees on their network, Yes Network, have this show called Yankeeography Moments of Glory, and there's a whole 30-minute episode about that 2-pitch sequence. It's pretty outstanding.
I'm gonna have to check it out because Richie Garcia, rest in peace if you're not already.
Martin Maldonado, a little bit of a thick boy.
Oh, hey, it kind of reminds me of John Kruk when he went to the bar, and when some girl said, "You don't look like a professional athlete," he said, "I didn't say I was a professional athlete. I said I was a baseball player."
I was at a game one time. The Yankees were playing the Mariners, and somebody was shouting at Brett Boone, who is Aaron Boone's brother.
Yeah, just voided out of his skull.
And he was like, "You're too short. You're too short to play baseball." And he said, "You should see me when I stand on my wallet." I thought that was great. Frankie says, Richie Garcia also gave us the Jeffrey Mayer home run, 96.
I remember that kid. You know, those Yankee teams back then, one thing that they did was they saw so many pitches. Man, they worked counts. They would get the other starting pitcher up above 100 pitches by the 4th inning.
Yeah, but like that was a day when bullpens weren't as nasty as they are now.
Right.
So like they keep trying to recreate that strategy, and it doesn't work anymore, right? Mm-hmm. They just need some guys who can hit now. But yeah, that used to be the thing. Like Tino and Paul O'Neill would foul balls off, take close pitches. Jeter was really a guy who just was very aggressive. He was not like a walks guy. Jace, so the crowd might be interested in this. Jasson Dominguez's first home run ball has been retrieved by Eddie Fastook of the Yankee security team. The Martian will have it waiting for him after the game. So when that happens in Major League Baseball, a lot of times like somebody will give him like they'll like mark up a fake baseball, like draw dicks on it or something like or like write the wrong pitcher's name or spell the guy's name wrong and give him that, and they're like, and then they give him the real one. Yeah.
Just go wipe their ass with one.
Yeah. Frankie says, by the way, Richie Garcia is still alive.
Yeah, he's living his best life, I'm sure.
Dude, how much do umpires get paid?
Very well, from what I understand.
What do you think? Like 100 grand? 200?
Oh, yeah. They're well in the 6 figures. They have a very strong union. I kind of wish they'd be replaced by
robots. I like the challenge system idea. Because I think it was Todd Frazier had this point. He's like, if you get rid of the home plate umpire entirely, you're going to lose that like manager confrontation part of the game, which everybody likes. You're going to lose like the, guys arguing with the umpire as they strike out or whatever, slamming their bat and getting tossed. Like that's fun. That's spice. But I like the challenge system where like each team can challenge a couple of pitches per game. You just like tap on your helmet or tap on the top of your hat and you can challenge the last call. I think that'd be better.
But then you just have a limited amount of challenges, and then an umpire could just kind of, if you're pissing off an umpire, can he just like, after you're out of challenges, be like, I'm just going to take this away?
Yeah.
Some umpires miss a lot more than one, 2 or 3 calls.
Yeah.
And I'd rather, I get all that, but I think I'd rather have the call get right and kind of lessen all those arguments and stuff. especially in the postseason. Over the course of the regular season, that might be really entertaining, but once you get in the postseason, man.
In case you're just joining, first watch party of the year in the new studio. And Jasson Dominguez went deep in his first at bat. He'll be up this inning, I think. No, maybe. Judge hits second, so we need somebody to get on base. And Judge gets on base. Line drive, base hit.
Man, I still daydream about him if he took the Padres.
He wouldn't have probably run through that wall. The whole history would be different.
No, he probably would have broke his leg or something. Something worse would have happened probably.
I don't know that they would have been that much better. It seems like a clubhouse issue.
No, it is. I mean, and it was kind of weird in the offseason. It's like, let's throw money at Trey Turner. No? Okay, well, let's throw money at Aaron Judge. Well, no. Will somebody take our money? I almost felt like calling them up and saying, hey, give it to me.
All right.
Volpe has 20 home runs.
20 home runs, 20 stolen bases.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he had that much pop. You know, it's funny. I was watching, I think it was Foul Territory with that Yankees prospect. What was his name? I forget.
We've had a few, probably either Chase Hampton or who else?
I think it started with an R. Anyways, he was talking about how in the minor leagues, like the Yankees use this system about like how, you know, this real OPS, like based on where you hit it and how hard you hit it.
Oh, that guy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you could be hitting like 320, but it could just be like you're getting lucky, and so they'll send you down or something like that. Because,
Ben Ruda.
Ben
Ruda.
Because you're just not hitting that mark and
expected. Yeah,
that's so dumb, man. Because confidence is everything in this game, and if you're going well or if your stats are good, even though you're not hitting the ball hard and they're dropping in, sometimes you'll get hot and start hitting the ball really hard because you just feel good.
I like contact. Like I like guys who can, like Luis Ariz, just spray the ball all over the ballpark. You know?
Yeah, well, that's why Tony Gwynn was great. Tony Gwynn didn't walk a lot. He was like Ichiro. Ichiro didn't walk a lot. It's because they put the ball in play.
Frankie Baseball says, thoughts on the Martian movie. I thought it was great. I love that movie. Matt Damon. Matt Damon was in back-to-back movies in which he was the only person on a planet. The Martian and Interstellar.
Yeah, I think somebody said they calculated the real-life cost of what it's take to save Matt Damon's life.
Yeah.
Between Interstellar, Martian, and Saving Private Ryan.
That's funny. Volpe takes one inside, 3-2. I tell you what, I want Volpe to turn on 1-2.
The way he's leaving the ball up, I wouldn't be surprised.
Verlander does not look sharp tonight.
No.
A lot of pitches in the middle of the plate. Popped up.
It's up again. That was a cookie.
Yeah, he should have hit that one hard. Caught in right field. Tucker, he's a good player, man. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Tucker.
Did they sign him to an extension? Because he should be a free
Not
agent pretty
yet.
soon, right?
No, I think he's still got several years. I think he's still got at least 3 years of control.
Gotta be another great guy for the Yankees. Stack that lineup with lefties.
Frankie says, favorite Matt Damon movie is Rounders. I love Rounders. Pay that
That
man
is
his
a
money.
great movie.
What's your favorite movie, Brett?
Oh. Man, you'd have to give me a minute on that.
Backdoor Granny's 9.
I don't know. I prefer 8.
I missed the first 7, so I never got to that one.
Well, you know what's funny? I've been getting into watching people watch movies for the first time.
Huh.
And
That is fun.
And one of the movies I like people watching for the first time is Forrest Gump. You got a poster of that up there because I remember one guy.
Oh!
Wow!
Giancarlo murders one.
Just admire it.
Way
That
over
ball
the
is high. It is far. It is gone.
way over the train tracks. That was up there in Albert Pujols territory. 21st of the year.
Home run for Stanton.
This night is a wrecking machine.
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
Yeah. Smoked. And now we need back-to-back and belly-to-belly from the Martian. And look, after giving up a home run like that, he's going to want to throw a strike. If I'm the Martian, I'm sitting dead red, fastball outside, do it again.
Yeah. Now look at this Yankees dugout. Does the energy look different?
Yes. Look at this line drive to left. Oh, it was exactly what.
Yeah, you called it.
Yeah, but caught. Oh my goodness.
Just admire it.
Stanton destroyed that baseball. I want to get the exit velo and the distance on that. Jesus. That one left the stadium. He so rarely gets under one like that. Most of his home runs are line drives. Mm-hmm. When he connects and gets air under it like that, it just goes ridiculously far because he hits the ball so hard.
Right. But it's he has to hit a home run because it's you don't want him to run, right?
Right. Yeah.
His hamstrings might
If he runs
snap.
any slower, it'd be in a coffin.
Yeah, I was thinking about, the Padres needed a DH so bad this year, and I would think about DHs, and I would think about Stanton, and I'd be like, oh man, Stanton would be sexy named in the middle of that Padres lineup. But then I think, well, can't really play defense. I mean,
yeah.
You usually want to have some sort of defensive flexibility, and can't even run, so you better hope he hits home runs because he can't run. And he will hit home runs if he's in the lineup, which is half the year.
Yeah.
And then he's got the contract. So the more I thought about it, was I went from we might have Giancarlo Stanton would look great in the Padres lineup to, oh crap, then we'd probably have to deal with Giancarlo Stanton on our roster. And that would be a problem.
So Frankie says, love Forrest Gump, but the running across the country scene almost ruins it. I kind of agree. I didn't like that part of it.
Yeah. It's funny. The person going back to watching people watch movies for the first time, this one guy said that he was told that Forrest Gump was overrated. And then he watched the movie, and at the end he's like, it was definitely not overrated. It was probably one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life.
I watched Taxi Driver for the first time the other day.
Really?
I thought that was overrated. I didn't like it that much. I mean, it was okay.
It's definitely, I don't think has held up very well.
It has not aged as well as some, Jaws was in the 70s, right? And that's, I mean, it's aged perfectly. Star Wars aged really well. Taxi Driver has not aged well at all. I mean, there was some interesting scenes, when he meets that girl, invites her to on a date, you want to go to the movies with me, he takes her to a dirty movie or whatever, and it just captures the whole socially awkward kind of thing. But I didn't buy his descent into madness. I thought it was well acted, but the story didn't make a lot of sense to me, and I don't know, I just wasn't into it. However, as I told Frankie the other day, I just got the Godfather movies, all three of them, bought the whole set. I've never seen Godfather 2 or 3. I've only seen the first one, and it's been 20 years. So as soon as the baseball season is over, which unfortunately will be soon, I will be binging all three Godfather movies.
It's actually just recently that I've seen the Godfather movies. That was one movie that I've just really never got into.
So Brandy says 112 miles an hour, 433 feet on the Giancarlo bomb. That's actually kind of short for him. He'll go 480.
112 miles an hour with that angle?
Right. Yeah. Oh, he's a bad mofo. All right. Take it from here, Brett. You can do a little play-by-play. I'm going to take a piss.
Hit. Out.
That's the best color man in the league for nothing, folks.
Now Carlos Rodon has really owned the Astros. There you go. That's a strike. Robert McCabe says, I went to a Dodger game a few years ago, got to see Tatis' father hit 2 grand slams in the same inning. Yeah, the Dodger pitcher was Chan-Ho Park for both of them. man, he really got hung out to dry in that inning. Yeah, someone was mentioning that Chan-Ho Park was a pitcher for both of Tatis Sr.'s Grand Slams in one inning.
What happened? Tatis did what?
Tatis Sr., when he hit 2 Grand Slams in one inning, it was both against Chan-Ho Park. Who probably gave up 15 earned runs that game.
Taking one for the team.
That's right. You got to eat some innings out there, Chan-Ho.
So give me your thoughts on Fernando Tatis Jr. Because I mean, I've only seen him play a few times. He came to New York and he wrecked the Yankees, but like the talent seems like it's there, but he also seems like, I don't know, a little bit of a head case.
I wouldn't say he's a head case. I'd say he is. He's not happy with losing, and he's not happy with not being liked. I think he really had an issue with not being the face of baseball, and being the let the kids play and the kind of the face of the game. And then he kind of got had that fall from grace, and everybody was booing him. And I think it just kind of soured him a little bit. And I think he's always been a little cocky.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we're stuck with him for the next 12 years. So I hope he can, put it together. He's been really good in right field. He handled the position switch pretty well.
Yeah. How was he at shortstop?
He was pretty good. It was a good shortstop. He had some years that he was rated well. He had a year that he wasn't rated very well. He got to a lot of balls, but he threw a lot of balls away too. He's probably a lot better outfielder, and it was always speculated he was going to end up there anyway. We got like 15 shortstops on the roster anyway.
People are just listing movies. I don't know if they're talking their favorite movies or whatever, but In the Mouth of Madness, you ever seen that one?
No. So
that's really great. So it's got, I want to say Sam Neill, the guy from Jurassic Park. I think it's him. And he's a character in this world where a guy named Sutter Kane, who I think is based on Stephen King, he writes horror books, and he writes one that drives people literally crazy. It drives the masses crazy. And people are like, "Do you read Sutter Kane?" And then they just go on mass acts of violence. That was a sick movie.
What year did that come out?
Oh, it had to be 90s. Had to be like 93, 94, something like that. It's an old movie.
Man, Sam Neill, he chooses strange movies.
Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
Oh yeah.
That is a sick movie, man.
I remember being in college when I saw that movie, and I think I was just baked out of my skull when I saw it too. And I think I was alone in my dorm room with all the lights off.
Yeah.
Freaking myself out.
What's the scariest movie you've ever seen?
Oh, hands down, Requiem for a Dream. I will never see that movie again. It was the scariest movie of my life.
Drug addiction. It is kind of scary.
Yeah, it's because it's real.
Yeah.
That's why I think, Jenny from Forrest Gump, how everybody hates Jenny?
Yeah.
I love Jenny. I think she's the best character in the history of film. She's the most real character because everybody knows a Jenny in their life, and it pisses them off. That's why everybody hates Jenny. She's real.
Be excited. Be excited. What's the Requiem for a Dream? Jennifer Connelly in that movie. Oh, yikes. And then let me think. What's the scariest movie I ever watched was the original Pet Sematary. I saw that one was about like 7 or 8 years old.
That kid was creepy, man.
Well, it wasn't even so much the kid; it was the sister, like the creepy sister who was like possessed. In like the mom's sister, like she told like this flashback of her sister who had like she had lost her mind and was criminally insane or whatever, but also had like some kind of disease. Yeah, she had some kind of I'm gonna get you, and like it was just
I remember that. But you know what? The kid creeped me out too. He just, even though he was like 2 feet tall and he's like a baby, you could throw him like against a wall. It's like you would cower in fear.
The neighbor, the guy who was in that
Fred
one
Munster.
hit well to left field. Yeah, Munster. He was also
My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, he was the judge in My Cousin Vinny. The two Utes. Jed Crandall. Sometimes that is better. My Cousin Vinny. That's an underrated movie. You seen that? I'm sure you've seen
Oh, yeah. And it's so funny. The plot wouldn't be able to work today because it's like you could just Google or, I could look you up, Mr. Callow.
Identical. Well, when I watch older movies like that, I think about like, well, it's a period piece now, you know? It's like takes place in the 90s. People used to say all the time I looked like Ralph Macchio.
See that.
When I was in high school, like I was about, 50 pounds lighter. I had that same kind of Karate Kid look. William M. says Jeepers Creepers. That was a good one. It's almost spooky season. Like usually September 1st or so is when I start to dust off like the old horror movies. And so like there's certain ones I watch every year. I watch the original It, with, what's his name? I forget his name.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, yeah.
Yeah, so you prefer the older one or the newer one?
The new one's good, but I just like the older one scared me more as a kid. So like, it's
same here.
Easier to recapture it, even though it's a little hokey pokey.
Yeah, it's funny. I hear about that first It movie because it was like a TV movie, like a 2-part from what I remember.
Yeah, miniseries.
It was like a real cultural, like really made its mark on our generation because when we watched it, we were kids and we probably shouldn't have been watching that because it was pretty intense.
I usually watch a few of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, a few of the Jason movies this time of year. And then there's documentaries about those movies that I like to watch. There's one, it was called like Never Sleep Again, I think, and it's like a 4-hour documentary that covers all the Nightmare on Elm Street flicks. And I find that's like just as good as watching the movies because you get all the scenes, but you also get like behind the scenes stuff, and like, it's just not as campy.
Yeah.
And they break down the scenes, and I don't know, I like that sometimes better than actually watching the movie. I usually watch like Silence of the Lambs, like scary stuff. I'll tell you what I watch a lot this time of year: serial killer documentaries.
Oh yeah.
Like the Ted Bundy tapes and the John Wayne Gacy tapes, and because that's scary because those people are out there.
Right. Did you ever watch Mindhunter?
Yes.
I wish they'd make more of that.
Yeah, there's a petition going around to bring it back.
But I remember Return of the Living Dead in 1985.
Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah, I remember being like 5 or 6 years old when that came out on HBO, and I woke up at 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep, and I turned on HBO. I was like 6 years old, and it was the opening scenes to Return of the Living Dead. And I don't know if you recall that scene in the cemetery, that full frontal dance scene.
I don't remember
Trash. That. Yeah, there's a punk rock girl who gets completely naked, and dances in the cemetery. And I can tell you that was the moment that I realized that I liked girls.
And
people ask, like, what was the moment you knew you were straight? That was the moment.
Wow, this game is taking forever. Rodon's got 70 pitches here in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. We are at 9:12 p.m. I'm still like, it still blows my mind that Dominguez went deep in his first at bat, and then also the rope in his second at bat lined out.
Yeah, I know. Did they turn off the pitch clock or something? Because it feels like this
game's been dragging. It's tougher when you got to talk the whole time, man. I'm telling you. Frankie says, petition for a Derek Brett podcast. I'm down. Maybe you can come back more regularly. You live so far away, though.
Yeah, it's been tough for us to hook up. It's been pretty busy for me with family and work and baseball.
Yeah, it's tough for me to do anything with any of my friends during the summer because the Yankees hold me prisoner. Everybody's like, hey, we're going out tonight. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're going golfing. We're going to go see a movie. We're going to do this and that. And I'm like, well, I got to do the Yankees postgame show. And I'm working during the day.
Especially with the season how it's been so far, I'm really impressed that you've been able to hang through it because if you could do this season, you'll be able to keep it going.
Oh, yeah.
And you could only imagine it once the Yankees get good, how much more fun it's going to be.
So I'm already thinking about next year. If it's a rebuild year, how are we going to do it? And I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do exactly the same. It's like if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. But it makes the wins more fun when, they're rarer. But
yeah. So if you were Hal Steinbrenner, what would you do this offseason?
God, that's tough, man. That's tough. So I think you got to get Bellinger. You got to get a left-handed bat. He's the best one available. Back up the truck. I mean, I don't know what kind of center fielder Dominguez is going to be, but Bellinger's also a great center fielder. So I mean, maybe you slide either Bellinger or Dominguez over to left field. And I think you need another starting pitcher because we got kind of ravaged by injuries this year.
I'm trying to think who's available this offseason.
So there's Yamamoto from Japan, Yomamori Yamamoto, Julio Urias from the Dodgers, Michael Lorenzen, I think his name is, from the guy who just threw the no-hitter.
Right.
I'm trying to think of who else. Luis Severino's a free agent. Yanks probably not going to bring him back, but he's been pitching better lately, so it would not surprise me if they do.
He might benefit from a change of scenery.
That's what I've been saying. I think if you let him go to Seattle and pitch as the number 4 guy without any attention, or San Francisco, someplace like that.
Yeah, watch him win 15 games with a sub-3 ERA.
Yeah, exactly what he'll do. I think I would clean house in terms of the manager, coaching staff, probably the GM. We're rebuilding. Let's get Joe Madden in here to be the manager. Let's get Theo Epstein in here to be the GM. Bring Derek Jeter in as a consultant. I don't think there's enough talent out there as a free agent on the free agent market to really overhaul this team. You got to kind of just make the best use of your young guys. Figure out which guys you want to keep. Mm-hmm. Dominguez looks like a keeper. I think Wells could end up being a keeper. Maybe a deal somebody like Pereira or or Peraza, one of the other guys. Bolster depth in other areas.
Yeah, I like your assessment. I think they need a shake-up from the top. It had too many guys who've been there for too long. You need fresh blood. I don't know if anybody's checked Brian Cashman's desk lately. Does it have a layer of dust on the chair? I don't know. I think you just need new blood. And I do agree with you. You do need experienced manager.
Austin Wells down 1-2 in the count. Pops one up. Second base. That's going to be caught. So both the kids, 1 for 2.
He's saying you're on the wrong side of the bag, buddy.
Little heat there between Jeremy Pena and it's like those two guys. You ever see the Major League 3 back to the minors and
they're just always arguing.
They have the same name and they're always fighting with each other. Yeah. Juan 1 and Juan 2. Here's Everson Pereira. I'd love to see him connect on one.
This is one guy I haven't heard a lot in the prospects about, but I know you've been talking about.
So here's the thing with Pereira. A couple years ago in the minor leagues, he played, and I think he had 188 at bats or something, and hit 20 home runs. Just insane numbers. He was another international guy. Had some injuries here and there, but has really played well this year. Hit over 300 in the minors with 20 some odd home runs. But he cannot hit a slider. Ever since he's been in the major leagues, he has been swinging through every slider. He's going to see one right here. Fastball. And he's just looked overmatched. He also struck out more than 30% of the time in the minor leagues.
That's not good.
And strikeout rates don't go down when you get to the major leagues, right? No. They go up. So, yeah. I'm not super... Oh, he gets into one to left field and hits it deep. And off the wall. Wow. That's going to be extra bases. He's hustling hard. He's going to stop at second. I was just talking about how much he can't hit, and he drills one off the wall.
You should say that about every Yankee.
Literally, this team cannot hit. They're 27th or something like that in the league in offense. But
hey, the kids are getting it done today.
Hey, that's what we got to see, man. That's why they're here. Get these hits for the next month. Learn from Sean Casey and, learn from whoever you can.
That's what you said in your last show. You're like, get some hitters.
Yeah.
Hey, they listen to you.
Here is Peraza. Yanks lead 5-2, top of the 4th. He cuts through a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Hitting 134, 6 ribbies. Have not been impressed by him. Got a good swing, but I don't know. He just doesn't. He hits a lot of choppers to third base.
Well, they got him at second base. Hasn't he been playing shortstop in AAA?
Yeah, he was a minor league shortstop. He's been playing some some third base and some second base. Grounds in the infield. Did he beat it out?
No, challenge it.
Ooh, that's close. I'll say this: the Yankees replay guys are the best. They're always on it quick, and they are almost always right. They don't always get the call. He's out.
Yeah, just beat him.
Youngest lineup in Major League Baseball right now. Average age 26 years old. I need to get a better camera for in here. It's a little bit fuzzy. I'm using like the laptop camera, but I can dig this. Do more watch parties.
Now, I've heard you say that Volpe is probably better suited for second base, and Peraza is probably the more natural shortstop.
So, Volpe's arm leaves a lot to be desired, but he's got power. He's got some range. He's a good player. I haven't seen enough offensively out of Peraza for him to stick around, but apparently, and he hasn't really played that much shortstop, but apparently he's a fantastic shortstop. Look at third base. Ugh. DJ LeMahieu. Yo, it feels like the seventh inning, dog. 9:21. So the game started in 8 because they're in Houston. Usually they start at 7, and they're over at like 9:45. So fourth inning, 9:20.
It's probably still 95 degrees over there.
Yeah. Hey, I like the chair.
It's nice.
I love these chairs.
Hey, it's a good chair to be in for a 10-hour ball game. Yeah, I like the studio. Looks good.
What are you doing for Labor Day?
Oh, I am going to be doing some major landscaping at my house.
What are you doing?
Just trying to beat back my yard because it's...
Fighting back against nature?
Yeah, just drop a bunch of sweat just so I can go ahead and do it again next weekend.
I've got a little garden out back that whenever one of the pets dies, we put them in there, and
Old Indian burial ground.
it's like, so we get the little we get them cremated, and then they get the little wooden box or whatever, and they go in there, and so I tend very carefully to that garden, but other than that, I just kind of let the insects and everything take over in the back. We don't spend a ton of time. I like to just go out there and sit. I'm not much of a landscaping guy. I got a company that comes and mows the grass, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I got to mow. I got to trim. I got to cut all the bushes back. I got a lot of yard though.
Man, I would kill for some pizza right now.
Ugh. Oh man, I should have brought you some pizza.
I didn't think about it. Tonight I'm gonna watch that Dominguez home run like 900 times on repeat. I'll just order pizza, eat while I watch that. One thing that about doing this show is I don't get to experience the games like I used to. You know what I mean? Like, because I got to take notes and write things down and write a description. I can't be in the moment as much.
Now.
Right? It's like a job. So, but that tonight, like doing a watch, that was like one of the first times I've gotten to actually just like kind of celebrate and experience it. Hey, we got unhinged Patrick in here. Says, I'd let Dominguez have my children. Dude, Dominguez is young enough to be your child. He's... Oh, man. Pat threw out the first pitch at a Somerset Patriots game this year. He works with the Better Network and Logan Paul and all those guys. William M. says large pie would be... I like how the man skips small and medium. Go right to the large.
Go big or go home.
So do you ever just like sit down and eat a whole large pizza? You're skinny. You probably don't really.
I have been there. I will admit that I am no stranger to attacking a whole pizza. And the funny thing is that you don't even know you're doing it when it's happening. It just, you get to that last piece and you're like, holy shit, did I just do that?
Well, to me, it's like, I'll just decide, like, I'm going to pull the pin on this grenade today. And I'll just It's like I'll put the whole thing away intentionally. Good changeup from Rodon there.
Yeah, mine just kind of happens by accident. Kind of helps that me and my wife have different topping preferences, so I kind of just get my own pie.
What do you do for your topping?
I just like pepperoni, but I like meat lovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sausage, all that. My wife's is just plain cheese. She's boring.
So I grew up just eating cheese and sausage. Those were my two toppings. A couple years ago, I started going to the Alamo Draft House, which I got to get you out there. And it's like this movie theater, for people who are listening, where you can order like all sorts of different food. And they have this pizza called the Carnivore, and it's just like it's like pepperoni and sausage and bacon and meatball, and it's like a flatbread, like tiny personal pizza, but it's like that thick of meat on top of it. Oh man, it's my favorite pizza now. And it's gotten me started eating bacon on pizzas now. Like
yeah.
Bacon bits. God, it's so good.
Yeah.
I never understood what that combination would do for me.
I saw bacon as a topping, and I went for it, and it's one of my go-to toppings now.
Rodon serves one up. This one is hit well to left field. That is going to be caught by Pereira. Nice catch. I thought that was going 15 rows deep.
I know, same here. That looked like the Stanton hit. I was going to say, he's been pretty gutsy so far today.
Gutsy. That's the word you used to use for me when I had no fastball anymore. Nice gutsy outing, Derek.
Yeah, but
I
still
gave up
getting
8
outs.
runs.
Still getting out, so.
20 gave up, got 16 outs, gave up 10 runs, but yeah.
But only 3 of them were earned.
That what year was it? It must have been
2010.
Yeah, it must have been 10 or 11. My first year with that team, where I literally pitched like every single game.
Yeah, we played like 12 games, and you were like 8-2.
That was rough. My shoulder, that was pretty much the end of the line for my fastball.
Yeah, you sacrificed your arm for that, for a shot at that fake ring.
Yeah, and we lost. And we lost the dude who pitched in the finals, the championship.
He ruined his arm.
He pitched 2 complete games. Never saw him pitch in that league again.
Nope.
That was it.
His arm.
That's why you don't do that.
Have you ever seen a Major League no-hitter in person?
No. I've seen a few of them on TV. I've seen everyone the Yankees have thrown. I didn't see David Cohn's live. I saw it on tape the next day. But I watched Gooden's live. I watched Jim Abbott's live. Corey Kluber, David Wells. This year, Domingo Germán, who's now in rehab.
That's crazy.
Well, that's amazing.
I remember watching A.J. Burnett throw a no-hitter for the Marlins against the Padres. And me and my friend, we didn't even know he was throwing a no-hitter until the 8th inning. Because he had walked 9 batters and thrown 140 pitches. And when we looked up at the scoreboard, and we're like, why is he still in this game? He's thrown like a bunch of pitches, and then we see he hasn't given up any hits, and we're like, but we've had base runners. We've had guys on second base for multiple innings. We haven't had a hit. And he ended up throwing a no-hitter with nine walks.
I remember, A.J. Burnett did that.
Yankee legend.
It wasn't with the Yankees. It was with the Marlins, but yeah.
No, I'm just saying he was.
Oh, yeah. Legend. Well,
he got your ring.
I'd say, yeah, the ring was worth it because, I mean, he won Game 2 of the 2009 World Series. But other than that, he really didn't have a whole lot of great moments. But that one was such a big moment that kind of, I'll always think of him fondly for that game.
I remember one of the best pitch games I've ever saw in person was Curt Schilling when he was
ball center. Uh-oh. Nice communication between the kids. Dominguez makes a catch. I'm sorry, what were we saying?
Oh, one of the best pitching performances I saw was from Curt Schilling, who was throwing a perfect game, and the catcher, the fleet-footed Ben Davis, another Yankee legend, laid down a bunt because the third baseman, the whole infield was playing back.
I remember that.
But it was a 2-1 game.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was a 2-0 game. So a bloop and a blast could have tied it. So Bruce Bochy, to his credit, I was like, you're trying to win. You're not trying to gift this guy a perfect game. And I understood, Kurt Schilling's like, you got to earn it, with a real hit. But to me, a bunt is a real hit. And even if it's a slow-footed catcher, you got to respect it.
I wish the Yankees had bunted on Schilling in Game 6 of the 04 ALCS.
Oh, when he had the ankle?
The bloody sock.
Why not? Was that seemed to be not classy?
They asked Derek Jeter about that in the Captain documentary, and he's like, we didn't really have anybody who could have bunted. I guess I could have bunted. That's what he said. I was like, yes, you could have bunted.
Yeah, all those guys on the team are like, I don't get paid to bunt.
Right.
It's pretty amazing how many of those guys actually don't know how to lay down a bunt. And of course, a lot of those guys probably have never. They've always been the best at each level. Why would they bunt?
Right. That's the downside. Here
we got Dominguez coming up again this inning.
Oh yeah.
I smell a multi-home run game.
Man, that would be nuts.
Now, Verlander has to be out now, right?
I don't know. That looks like his tight pants.
Well, this is the first game of the series, right? So
Yeah.
they don't want to get into the bullpen. They want to try to get as many innings out of him as they can.
Well, he's only throwing 67 pitches, so he is a hairy dude. Here's the pitch to Aaron Judge. Judge hits it well left field.
Go.
When he hits them like that, they don't come back. That one is gone.
Ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Judgian blast. All rise.
426 feet. 110 off the bat. Beautiful swing from the captain. Yankees breaking out the whooping sticks. And that means we will get Dominguez this inning.
Man, Verlander is just leaving everything up and over the middle of the plate.
250th home run for Aaron Judge in his career. Fastest player ever to get to 250. Is that number 30 on the year? Or is that number 29? Did it say? I think it's number...
I think that's 30.
30. Yeah, 30th of the year. Unbelievable. Hit the train.
Did you see that? He won a steak.
I actually bought Bull Durham today. I didn't realize I didn't have it. And I saw it on the... it was on sale on Vudu. I picked it up. I got to watch that again.
Did you get the copy with the commentary and stuff?
I think it has all that stuff. Yeah, it was like director's cut or what,
Have you ever listened to the Tropic Thunder the commentary?
No.
On
Is it
Tropic
good?
Thunder? Oh my God.
I have it.
It's the best commentary. You have to listen to it. Robert Downey Jr. does it in character, just like he says in the movie.
That's funny.
He does the entire commentary in character.
I don't know if you can get away with that character these days.
No, but it's so funny because Jack Black's in the very beginning is like, "Are you really doing this? You're gonna do this for the whole movie?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, baby, you know it." And then he comes back as RDJ at the transformation in the movie. Then he talks normally.
Fewest games ever to get to 500 or to 250 home runs for Judge. He knew it too. Downey was unbelievable in Oppenheimer.
He's a great actor, man. He's great in everything he does.
Yeah, Stanton needs 400.
Man, Stanton's at 400 home runs already?
One more and he'll be at 400.
So what do you think about Harrison Bader? He's going to the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Bader. Not much of an offensive player this year. Good outfielder. Good guy.
I always liked Bader.
Brandy says, Yanks have never lost a game when Judge, Stanton, and Dominguez homer.
Here we go, Jason.
I like it.
Single to middle. Oh,
hit it hard.
right into the shift.
He swung at the first pitch twice. He smoked that one up the middle, but right
All three solid.
That's what they
contact.
say. He hits the ball hard.
That's why I'm not worried about batting average. You hit the ball hard, you're going to find holes.
And it's like he's gone oppo twice and up the middle. So he's like using the whole field, right?
It's very encouraging. He could be 3 for 3 today.
Yeah, he really could. Guess we'll see Wells next inning.
It'd be interesting to see him right-handed because he really does. He seems much more balanced and comfortable left-handed.
So his right-handed numbers, I think, were better in the minor leagues. Like he's a good right-handed hitter. He hit a home run this spring that I saw. First, I think it was his first at bat of the spring too. Went deep. That's funny. Hey, you know that's what the Martian does, man. Freak show.
Yeah, but it's funny how you the helicopter, the Fred McGriff thing. I remember when I was growing up in San Diego and I went to a little Padres. It's one of those little league, day with the coaches or something. And the bench coach for the Padres was Rob Piccolo during that time.
Rob Piccolo.
And he was talking to us about Fred McGriff, about how he has a lot of problems with his balance at the plate. And it was, I remember specifically him talking about that. And then watching Fred McGriff after that, look like he's about to fall over when he hits the ball.
Yeah.
I just remember that really sticking out.
So, all right, back to the movie thing. Best baseball movie.
That is a tough one. I'd say Sandlot.
Sandlot's great.
Because I think it really captures the essence of baseball. And when you talk about a baseball movie, are you talking about what's the best looking, like the most realistic? I'd probably say Bull Durham.
Well,
but the most like cheesiest has got to be those kids movies like Rookie of the Year.
I thought Major League, was like the most realistic looking. Like in general, it was just a great.
Yeah, well, Charlie Sheen, man, he has good form.
Hit well to center field. Dominguez back.
Good route.
Makes a nice catch. Yeah. That's one of the things that we've heard about him is his routes could be a little bit better. That one looked fine. Field of Dreams, another great one. That one's more of like a movie about life with baseball.
More philosophical than really about baseball. I think I heard you talking about Moneyball the other day.
I love Moneyball.
Yeah, about how it kind of grew on you a little bit.
So when I first saw it in the movie theater, I didn't leave the theater going, man, that movie was great. But then a couple of years later, maybe like a year later, I was actually on a train to Yankee spring training from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I watched it on the train. And I had my headphones on, and there's nothing to distract me, so I was like really into it. And I was like, I get it. Like it was just so much better the second time around. And since then, I've probably watched it 5 or 6 more times. And I mean, it's really well acted. The music is amazing. I at first I just didn't love it, but now I do. It's weird. My favorite line from that movie, they're talking about minor league hitters, and they're like, if he's such a good hitter, why doesn't he hit good?
That's right.
Great line.
Yeah. Ugly girlfriend means no confidence.
Yeah. Fever Pitch. I was an extra on Fever Pitch. That was filmed at UNCW when I was down there. They filmed it in Southport. Yeah. I'm not in the movie, but I was on set for it. I went out there to be in it.
What about Summer Catch?
Oh, sorry, that's right. Summer Catch.
Was that it?
Yeah, Summer Catch. That was one with
okay.
Jessica Biel. And Fever Pitch was the Red Sox one. That's right. Yeah, that one sucked ass.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, didn't they film that?
They had Meg Ryan. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but I could see kind of Wilmington kind of.
Summer Catch is where it was filmed in Southport.
It does kind of have a Cape Cod-ish feel to it.
You ever been to Cape Cod?
When I was very young. I remember seeing the stupid Plymouth Rock.
My wife and I have been looking at, like, where do we want to retire? And we're thinking, like, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard area.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking.
Man, you guys are going to be old.
Yeah.
Any place called Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
I can just imagine just a big senior center.
Well, that's where they filmed Jaws. It's a moderate climate.
Oh, it was really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
61. Kyman says 61. That was a good baseball movie.
Oh, that was a great movie.
They filmed that at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah. And that was that the old Tiger Stadium?
Yeah, so before Comerica, the original Tiger Stadium, it was before they tore it down. Billy Crystal got in there to film, and they, like, transformed it. So
Man, that was a great old stadium. I used to love watching highlights from Tiger Stadium. If you ever get a moment, I would encourage you to watch any of Mark Fiderich's 1976 starts.
I saw the first one where
games are nuts.
where he's like talking to the ball and kicking in the dirt.
Games are nuts. It's just great.
Luke
watch.
WS says, my flight just landed in New York, so I couldn't watch the game. What did I miss? The game is on, and Jasson Dominguez went deep in his first at bat. And Austin Wells ripped a line drive. Giancarlo Stanton hit a monstrous 2-run home run, and Aaron Judge hit one off the train. Carlos Rodon, 5 innings, looked okay. He's
getting hits.
Yeah, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts.
Kids are getting it done.
Yeah. Acuna, 30 home runs, 60 stolen bases. That's nuts. He's going to go 40,
Hey,
70.
look, your boy Josh Donaldson's with the Brewers.
Yeah, Josh. He's a walking hemorrhoid, man.
He just seems like an ass. And you can do that if you hit 40 home runs, but if you don't, then it's a problem.
IKF, he's an interesting little player. He plays all over the field, little spark plug.
I hear he even pitches.
Yeah. UT says the Martian is for real. Hit the ball hard all 3 times tonight.
He looks like the real deal.
Swung at the first pitch twice. Swung at the second pitch. His first time up.
And you're doing that against a future Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
I think he's ready. Now I just hope he makes the adjustment.
Rodon's done. Shaking hands and hugging Austin Wells. Nice work.
Man, those mustaches are contagious, aren't they?
It's like Mario and Luigi, man.
It'd be funny if Dominguez starts growing one. It's just a bunch of peach fuzz right here.
Yeah. Nice piece of hitting by IKF. Chopped down the right field line for a base hit. That's something he does that not a lot of Yankees players do, is just slap the ball to pick up a base hit,
Right. Just put it in play.
Right.
Make things happen.
A lot can happen when you just hit the ball and put it in play.
Yeah, right? The worst thing you do is strike out. Hit them where they ain't.
8 Men Out, Mark G says. That's another great one.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I always forget Charlie Sheen is in that movie.
Yeah.
I watch it and I'm like, oh man, Sheen's in this. Austin Wells stepping out. I like his stance.
You know what baseball movie I never really got or I think is overrated is The Natural.
I like The Natural. What bothers me is the
I don't think he's believable as a baseball player.
I don't know. I mean, great pitcher, great hitter, like the Shohei Ohtani before his time. What I like about that movie is actually Robert Redford. I like his performance. I like the diabetes guy, Wilford Brimley, diabetes. But I feel like, I don't know. I just don't think of it when I think of great baseball movies, but I always watch it when it's on TV, and it's like, but I don't even know if I own it,
Yeah, but it is kind of like dark, like Moneyball, like how the games are almost like played with no lights on, it seems like, because it's just trying to create an atmosphere.
Did you like Little Big League?
Probably, because it came out when I was 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like every kid's dream, right? It's like just
Yeah.
own a baseball team and you just manage it.
Yeah, I liked how they used real players. Another good one is The Scout with Brendan Fraser. His pitching motion was awful, though.
Oh, it was so bad. But it was funny. I saw a video about Little Big League about how that was probably one of the best baseball kind of movies because they got like real players and they had a tryout because they wanted to get actors who could actually play. And a lot of those guys are former minor leaguers.
Yeah. Wells cuts through a 1-1 fastball. Mark G says, Naked Gun, is that a baseball movie? With Reggie Jackson, I Must Kill the Queen. Remember that?
I think it's borderline.
It is borderline. I enjoyed Leslie Nielsen's strike call. O.J. Simpson in that movie.
It's horribly miscast, by the way.
Oh. So Wells smoked one up the middle, one hop at the shortstop, turns into a double play, but he hit it well. Would like to see exit velocity. That's got to be over 100.
I think Jeremy Pena's just camping out right there in that spot on every batter.
How's Jeremy Pena done this year? I feel like I haven't heard much about him.
I think the last time I saw his numbers, they were, league average.
Because he won the ALCS MVP, I think.
Yeah, it's like, where are they just pulling these guys out of their ass? It's just like you lose Carlos Correa, and it's like, oh, we have a Jeremy Pena. By the way, speaking of Correa, he's been pretty awful.
He's been ass. It's that ankle. And he just signed that, 5-year deal, something like that?
He got his bag.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Pereira looks like a hitter to me. Like, if he can figure out how to lay off that slider, he's got a good swing.
It's like Javi Baez.
A little bit. Baez having a bad year.
Yeah. I remember Alfonso Soriano, it seemed like couldn't hit a slider. It's like anytime you throw him a slider on the outside part of the plate, you just swing and miss. And it made me think, like, why don't they just throw him that every single pitch?
But he hit everything else. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
He was a bad ball hitter. Even the home run he hit off of Schilling in the World Series was a splitter. And it was down low, and he just golfed it. Almost won the World Series with it. He was a wrist hitter, kind of like Hank Aaron. Just threw the wrist at the ball. I'll tell you what I'm going to do after this recap tonight, because we've been waiting for the Martian forever, and I feel like I've earned it. I'm going to get some midnight pizza. I haven't done that in forever. I remember the day before we moved into this house, we were at the old house, and we had no food left. Like, all the stuff had been packed into coolers and everything, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and neither me or my wife could sleep, and I just, like, kind of poked her in the morning. I said, Melissa. She's like, yeah. I said, you want pizza? She goes, I do.
Let's open that.
It's like 2 o'clock. We got Papa John's. It was the middle of the night. William says, you guys remember when Andrew McCutchen played for the Yankees? I loved Andrew McCutchen. I like him as a player just in general. Fun guy.
Yeah, it's funny. There's used to be a tradition when the Padres would get a bunch of like name guys, but at the very end of their careers, like like a 40-year-old Willie McCovey, Mike Piazza, Greg Maddux.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all these guys, Jim Edmonds, guys that you wish you had 5 to 8 seasons ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did they just show?
They're showing the 98.
Oh, man. Why are you doing this to me, man?
Well, so Old Timers Day is coming up, and so they're going to be celebrating the 98 team because it's been 25 years.
Uh-huh.
Jack Curry, by the way. Shout out to Jack. He's been on the show a couple of times. He's a commentator on the Yes Network. He just wrote a great book about that season called The 1998 Yankees, and it gets really into detail.
Man, what a great team.
I got to say, man, I miss Tony Gwynn. Oh, frick. He was such a great guy, great hitter. Like, I figured he'd be either managing or on like TV forever,
Well, yeah. Well, the San Diego State Aztec baseball team was his entire life, and he was great at that. And Tony Gwynn Jr., his son, I'm convinced has a job with the broadcasting team with the Padres just because he sounds like his dad. And it's just great to hear his voice. He was a real local guy. He took less money. You know, he always pissed the union off because he could have got more money as a free agent, but he wanted to stay in San Diego.
Yeah.
And he was he was a local guy. You always felt like you'd run into him somewhere.
Yeah. He was a genuinely, like, jolly dude, you know?
He was a superstar. I didn't know he was a superstar.
Do you do you watch the MLB Network documentaries that they put out every year? It's like, so during the winter time when there's no games, they always put out MLB Network presents whatever.
Right.
There's one on Tony Gwynn called Mr. Padre. I don't know if
Yep.
you've seen it.
Many times.
One of the best documentaries I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of my favorite Tony Gwynn. That almost looked intentional.
It did kind of almost look intentional. Alvarez takes one in the fanny. Limping.
Ouch. What was the speed on that?
I mean, Vasquez throws hard. It was probably 95 plus.
It looked like he was aiming for his
It
knee,
did really-
man.
That's a cutter. Oh, right in the
Ooh.
back of the knee. Hey, kitty, kitty.
That's going to leave a mark.
Come on up, Dutchie. Come on. You want to be on TV? Come on. Got a cat down here trying to get her to come up. Come on. Psst, psst. Oh, she's thinking about it. You got any pets?
I have a dog, 70-pound dog, German Shepherd Lab mix.
How old is she?
It's a he.
He?
And almost 3 years old.
Nice. That's a great age.
Yeah, finally starting to calm down a little bit.
We got two. We got Cece, who is
She's got to be ancient now.
11 and a half. Yeah, going to be 12 on January 1st. She just tore both ACLs chasing a squirrel.
I remember when she was a little puppy.
Yeah, and she's got a liver disease, so she's on all this medicine now. We're worried about her, but she seems fine. Like we think we got some time. And then Pepper, little, I don't even know what she is, like Whippet maybe, little black lab Whippet mix possibly. Reminds me of my first dog, just an absolute maniac. Squirrel comes in the yard, she'll run, find me wherever I am in the house, just start freaking out.
I got my dog on Prozac. He's a little bit of a head case.
Wow, I didn't know dogs took Prozac.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. Anything to keep him from attacking me.
What shows you watching these days?
Oh. I haven't had much time for shows.
I've been binging What We Do in the Shadows. Pretty funny little
I haven't
vampire
watched
show.
that.
And
Yeah, I did watch a series here recently, but I can't for the life of me remember what it is. Must not have been very good then.
smoking too much of that shit,
I
Brett.
know, right?
We just watched, or we're still watching Mad Men.
Oh,
So I waited, like I worked in marketing for so long and I didn't want to like do marketing all day and then come home and watch marketing on TV. So I kind of resisted binging it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm doing baseball full time, baseball podcast between this and Foul Territory, baseball podcasting is all I do. And so now I'm allowing the binging to happen.
no, Mad Men's great. And,
I like
and I'd never really got into it, but that's definitely a series that I would watch. Another series that I tried to get into but never really did was Breaking Bad.
You didn't like Breaking Bad?
I just could not get into it for some weird reason. I don't know. Maybe it's just bringing up bad memories of my old meth habits.
Oh man, to me, Breaking Bad is my all-time favorite show, I think. And then Better Call Saul, the spinoff, was also excellent.
Oh, did you see that movie Nobody?
Loved Nobody.
That was a great movie. I keep hearing whispers that they might do like a John Wick Nobody, like same universe type
That would be awesome.
mashup.
John Wick's great. Yeah, I like all those kind of like justice porn type of things, you know?
Yeah, I think there's a place for some good old-fashioned street justice.
Vasquez dealing to Abreu, who hit that home run earlier. 95. Seems like he kind of pulls the ball towards the outside part of the plate, like throws across his body a little bit maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been throwing it in the other box here.
There must be different tastes like that align for different people. Tabor Talk feels exactly the same way that my wife does, which is thinks that Mad Men is one of the greatest shows ever and that didn't like Breaking Bad. Nice catch by Peraza in left field. And my wife feels the exact same way as this guy, Tabor Talk. I personally, I think Mad Men's okay so far. We're like halfway through season 2, but to me, Breaking Bad was like Moby Dick of television.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Bronx is Burning.
Love that shit. You ever seen that?
Yeah, that was
Did
good.
you ever catch Jason Giambi was a cab driver?
No, was he really?
So in the first episode, there's this scene where Reggie Jackson's being recruited and he's walking on the New York City streets and a cabbie comes up and he goes, "Hey, Reggie, you coming here, right?" And it's Jason Giambi.
I'm surprised he was able to fit into a cab.
Oh, man. He did a lot of steroids.
Like, do you remember that scene in Police Academy when Bubba learned to drive? He had to rip out the front seat and sit in the back seat.
Police Academy. Been a long time, but yeah.
That is another classic. Jeez,
Ooh,
come on.
almost
find
got
a
him with
play.
the hanging slider. Bottom 6.
You gotta hang in there and wear that, Diaz.
Right. William M. says, Death Wish was amazing. I assume he's talking about the new one.
Proof?
Death Proof. That was also. But there's also there's 2 Death Wishes.
One with Charles Bronson.
Oh, so the original Street Justice flicks. That was Charlie Bronson. There's a new one that had. Oh shit! Who did it have?
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it that much.
No, it was a bad movie. It's forgettable.
And I think it also had Hank from Breaking Bad. Of the movies that you see on the wall here, other than Forrest Gump, who we talked about, have you seen all the others?
I have seen every single one of those movies.
All right, so
a million times.
We got Beetlejuice, we got Field of Dreams, Jurassic Park, Throw Home by Pereira. Runner does not go. We got Pulp Fiction. We got The Avengers. That's actually Avengers Endgame. We got Interstellar, Jaws, The Thing, Groundhog Day, and From Dusk Till Dawn. I just recently saw From Dusk Till Dawn like a year ago.
Really?
For the first time.
Oh, it's a great flick.
Yeah. So I immediately bought it, and I got like a tin poster. I have this friend that shows me movies I've never seen. Like almost exclusively, that's what we do when we hang out. Is he'll be like, "Have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie?" And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, "Have you seen this one?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "All right, we're watching that one." So I'll go over to his house and we'll watch it. And one of them was From Dusk Till Dawn, and I instantly became a top pick of mine.
Yeah. Well, it's funny is our generation. I like to call us the VHS generation because it's like we saw every movie 3 times.
Yeah.
Like even the bad ones. Between 1980 and 2000, probably every single movie that came out we saw multiple times.
Yeah.
And going to Blockbuster, Hollywood Video on the weekend, that was the thing to do.
Robert Ryan says The Punisher. I have not seen that, but I've heard good things about The Punisher. I've heard better things about the Punisher series. There's like a new Punisher.
Yeah, with that one guy.
That one guy. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, he was in Fury with Brad Pitt.
God, another good one. 98. Pitcher's wearing number 98. He also made his debut against the Padres, who the Yankees beat in 98. Where were you? Were you in San Diego when that happened?
Yeah, no, it's funny story. I graduated high school in 1998 and had to go off to college that fall at the end of August when the Padres were, in the home stretch and they were running away with the division and things were looking very good. And so I had to watch the whole playoffs and World Series from Arizona. Yeah.
I watched the 2017 ALCS from a cruise ship.
You're just lucky that they were able to get the games on there.
Yeah. I remember I had to buy the internet to watch it on MLB TV.
Yeah, I remember I was on the road rushing home in Arizona, driving across the desert to try to make Game 2 of the World Series in 1998, to watch it on TV. And I got to the house just in time for the bottom of the second to start, and there was this camera. It was either fixed to the catcher's helmet or the umpire's helmet, but it gave you that view from behind the plate. And as soon as I turned on the TV, it was a view of that shot and Bernie Williams hitting like a 3-run home run off Andy Ashby. And I was just like, oh, why did I rush home to watch this?
Bernie was one of my all-time favorites. I saw him hit an absolute nuke at Yankee Stadium one time.
Underrated player, man. He doesn't get talked about enough much as he should.
I looked up my first game ever, like the box score, and he went 5 for 5 in that game. It was his first ever 5-hit game, 1991 or 92. I'm sure Frankie's in the chat. He can find the date. This game's taking forever. A lot of people drunk in the chat this time of year. Reminder, recap coming up after the game. Got highlights. Talk about the Dominguez home run. Got reactions.
You got to have a graphic of him teeing off and having it hit the actual Mars.
Yeah. Those dope spikes. What do you think about all the bet stuff and sports betting in sports now?
I'm kind of indifferent because I'm not a betting guy. But
Same, but like, do you think it like affects the sports? Do you think there's players out there betting like, yeah?
To be honest, I think if they were into that and betting, they'd be doing it regardless.
Yeah.
Like, Pete Rose, they'll find ways. But could you imagine if any of your teammates found out that you were like messing around in games trying to get some sort of gambling edge? It'd probably be like a scene, like that scene from Full Metal Jacket when they just blanket party that one dude, Private Pile.
All right. We are going to the 7th inning. We're going to see Peraza, LeMahieu, and Aaron Judge.
It's going to be a big inning. They might score 12 runs, like you said.
I'm going to need that second Dominguez hit. I want to give away that jersey. Ugh.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's hit the ball hard.
We got about 60 some odd people. We don't do a lot of watch parties, but thanks to everybody who's sticking around in the chat. I think we're going to go a little bit darker with the lights here. Alexa, turn home theater blue. Boom. There we go. Make it a little bit more in the home stretch here. A little darker. Yeah, Frankie found it. October 5th, 1991. Yes, they were playing the Indians. 7-5. Bernie went 5 for 6.
Man, how's this guy do it?
Frankie's the man. Frankie's the only employee I need. And Frankie's coming to work on foul territory, too. They were asking me, like, what do you need? Like, tell us what you need. And I was like, I need Frankie. So, Frankie, we shall have.
Yeah, no major league team in the 90s, especially 98, wanted to face the Yankees in the Bronx. It was funny. The only two times the Padres have been to the World Series was 98 against the Yankees and 84 against the Tigers, which was an equally juggernaut team.
Didn't they start off like 34-4 or something?
35-5.
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah.
Which is funny. It's like close to what almost the Tampa Bay Rays did. And look how, they're still having a great season, but not with that winning percentage.
Monday, September 11th, Yankees versus Boston.
That's not quite as intense as it used to be, that
No.
rivalry.
Boston's still pushing for a playoff spot, but I don't know if they're going to get there.
It's so funny. You would have never said that in the beginning of the season.
No.
It's just funny how things just flip on their heads. Everybody expected the Mets and the Padres to be good, and they suck. And then teams like the Reds.
I picked the Padres to win the World Series. I figured like Tatis coming back, everybody like clicking, chemistry would get better.
And they did win it on paper. On
Yeah.
paper, they won it. Too bad you got to actually go out there and play the games.
Peraza pops out. Peraza has not been very impressive. I think Peraza is a guy that might not be around next year. Trade bait.
Yeah, I'm not a big prospect hugger. It's very rare that prospects pan out.
Right?
And usually the prospects that pan out are the ones that seem to be like no doubt, like the Tatises and the Dominguez, even though it's still a little early. You just kind of know.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's why when we traded that haul for Soto, all those prospects, it's like I didn't care because we're getting Juan Soto back, and all those guys we traded away could be Juan Soto, but we're actually going to get the real thing back, and I'd rather have the real thing.
So who'd you guys get? You get Mackenzie Gore and CJ
Abrams and a couple minor leaguers named Robert Hassel III and James Wood. And Robert Hassel has struggled almost immediately since we sent him over there. It's like he took a nosedive. Wood is still good. He's kind of got some comps to judge, because he's like 6'6". But yeah, we gave up a good haul for him, but still got one more season with him.
Yep.
We don't trade him.
You think they will move him?
No, I don't. I think they're gonna go all in for next season. If they kept trying, being 10 games under 500 all season, all the way up until basically last week, then they're gonna keep going.
What was the number he's looking for that you've heard?
Well, I think he turned down $440 million from the Nationals, so I'm assuming he's done it for 500.
I wonder how much Shohei's going to get now that he has that torn UCL.
I think he'd still get at least he would get between 40 and 50 still.
I think so too. I mean, as a left-handed hitter, like there's not a lot of great ones out there. He's a guy who's going to hit 50 home runs,
steal
bases. He makes so much money in advertising. Sells every jersey, like at every ballpark.
Yeah, you can't discount that.
Yeah. I can see the Yankees going after him, but they'd have to get rid of Stanton, and I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. Now, the Angels, that's just been funny how they went all in on the deadline.
And then they dumped everybody.
And then they just dump everybody. It didn't work. They had Shohei Ohtani for 6 years and decide they have 2 months left. It's like, let's try.
Judge bounces out to third, so we will go to the bottom of the 7th. So as soon as the game is over, I'm going to tell Brett here to take a hike, and I will be on about 10 minutes later with the recap. And we will watch the highlights, talk about all the Jasson Dominguez stuff. We'll get the belt award if the Yankees hang on. And we'll talk about our favorite Martian. Raleigh says Peraza might want to buy Austin Wells some chicken parmesan soon. I think it's homemade chicken parm. I think that's what they got. I think that's a secret. Are you a chicken parm guy?
Yeah.
I love chicken parm.
Oh, it's great.
Maggiano's is my favorite restaurant to go to. It's where we had our wedding reception, the one up by where you live.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I go there, I get the chicken parm. I got veal parm one time. I wanted to like see what all the fuss was about with veal. It tasted just like chicken to me, like the way it was fried. Like
really?
Yeah.
I think maybe the Parmesan is just so overwhelming.
Maybe.
I can see that though. Is Clay Holmes still closing it out for you guys?
Clay Holmes is still closing. Unfortunately, he's not closing very well. He's one of these guys with great stuff, like great sinker, like throws 98, 99 miles an hour. But if the inning goes a little bit haywire, like if somebody walked the leadoff guy or somebody makes an error, things spin out of control. And to me, that's not a characteristic that you want in a closer.
Right. It's funny. Some closers, it's like they need guys on base to really focus. I think Isringhausen used to be kind of like that.
Ground ball is short. Volpe's pretty slick over there at shortstop. Good hands, good range. Arm needs to be a little bit stronger, but he gets rid of it quick. He makes up for it by having a quick release.
I love those first pitch outs.
Go to many minor league games?
I've only just been really to the Bulls. I went to a couple Quakes games out in California.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been to the Coliseum. I've been to Diamondbacks, LA, Anaheim,
Yeah, we were talking about
Fenway,
ballparks.
Wrigley.
I've never been to Fenway. I kind of want to check out Fenway.
Yeah, it's really nice. Smells old.
I've been to Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium, the old ones, the new Yankee Stadium. I've been to Atlanta, both of them.
Oh, really?
Turner and the new one, Truist or whatever it's called.
The Coliseum, the Oakland Coliseum, was a dump.
Was
Smelled like
it?
piss.
I could see that.
Wrigley Field, surprisingly clean.
I've never been to Wrigley. I've always
It's
wanted.
beautiful.
I was in Chicago on a work trip the night that the Cubs won the World Series, and there was like fireworks going off all over the city. It was pretty
that must
cool.
have been great.
They weren't in Chicago; they were in Cleveland, but like the city was nuts. Like
I remember that shot right outside the big
Yeah.
Wrigley Field sign of all the people in the last out.
It was one of those things where it's like half the company was working on the West Coast and half was on the East Coast. So we just met in Chicago, rented out a boardroom, and so I'm staying in the hotel, probably the 10th floor, and I had this view out over the whole city, and I'm watching the Cubs celebrate on TV, and I'm watching fireworks go off all around the city. It was like one of the most memorable moments of my life, especially that wasn't Yankees related, the baseball. So Frankie says, didn't you see somebody die at a Braves game, or am I misremembering it? Yes. So I was at the old Turner Field 2016 or 2017, something like that, and A-Rod came up to pinch hit, and some people are booing and yelling and hollering, and then this one guy just goes right over the side. I didn't see it happen right like as it happened. I saw people reacting to it, and I went and looked over the side. My wife was like, actually, my wife wasn't there. It was my friend Jason was there, and he said, maybe he's all right. And I looked over, and it was like in Groundhog Day. It was like, well, he might be okay. And I look, and I'm shouldn't be laughing.
And then he exploded.
No, he was very, very dead. And I was like, man, they're gonna keep playing. Outran. I was like, and
He's like, hey, you gonna clean that up?
it's like his ground ball to shortstop. It's like, and they, the guy's soul was like going towards the tunnel and watching the bottom of the 7th inning on his way out.
It's like a scene out of that movie Ghost.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any interactions with the players on the field from the stands?
So Jose Vizcaino threw me a baseball once at Shea Stadium. That was pretty cool. I got Randy Velarde's autograph coming in one time. That's about it.
I remember I was heckling Barry Bonds at Jack Murphy Stadium back when the Padres were really bad. And I used to go to a lot of games and only like 1,000 people would show up. You could just walk right down to wherever you wanted. And I spent the entire game just walking with Barry Bonds every time he walked out to his position and walking back, just saying the most vile things about the acne on his back and about how he's just a huge asshole. And,
Yeah.
there was another time that Rick Dempsey flipped me off for yelling at him. I remember yelling at Andy Bennis. He flipped me off because I said, good job on your 0-5 record this year.
So you're there to talk trash. You're not there to watch the game.
And it's funny is I talked most of the trash to the Padres players. Like I
Yeah.
remember in '97, Greg Vaughn was having a shitty season, and I was like, "Give back your $5 million salary because you ain't earning it." And so basically, my goal was to get him to look at me. If they looked at me, then I won. And Barry looked at me. When Barry looked at me, man, he looked like he wanted to kill somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, Barry Bonds. He took steroids. What a douche.
Yeah, I love the story about how in college his team voted him off the team because all the team hated him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so the head coach, he was the best player not only on the team but in college baseball at that time.
Yeah.
But he was he's being Barry Bonds, and so the head coach at the time, to teach Barry a lesson, told the team, hey, we're going to have a vote whether or not you guys want to keep Barry Bonds on this team. So y'all have a private vote, and I'm going to tabulate the votes. And it was unanimous. They did not want him on the team, and they voted him off.
That's funny.
And then it kind of backfired on him. He was kind of like, yeah, guys, I'm not kicking him off the team because he's kind of the best player in the country. So just kind of deal with him.
Man, that home run from Stanton was crazy. Judges probably went farther, but Zach Hampel, that guy's a dick.
Zach Hempel.
You know
What's
who
your
Zach
problem
Hampel?
with him?
That's the guy who catches all those bases. Well, he plows over people.
Oh yeah, yeah. That guy seems like he wears shin guards and stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's he'll
diving over
he'll
chairs.
plow into. He's gotten kicked out of ballparks for that.
He'll steal a ball from a kid, shove it in his face. This guy looks like an animal.
Ryan Stanek. Yeah, he's nasty.
This guy looks like a mechanic.
Yeah. Anthony Volpe steps in. Hit the ball hard earlier, but 0 for 3. Volpe's got that baby face. He could pass for 18.
Yeah, he probably still gets carded.
Yeah.
Man, what was the launch angle on that?
It had to be in the 30s. Gargantuan. I'll take another, please. More of that, please.
I'd love to see like a two-sport star like Bo Jackson again.
That would be dope. It's hard to do these days. Sports have gotten so specialized and so hard to, it's like trying to run the 4-minute mile, but also be a great swimmer. Like a Olympic swimmer. It's impossible.
Here we go.
All right, Jasson steps in for his 4th at bat of the night.
Man, look how short his arms are.
1 for 3. He does have tiny arms. Martians, man.
Hey, get those hands in.
Yeah.
Hey, look, the announcers were able to figure out his nickname.
Yeah.
All right, get a high
Takes
fastball.
one low, 2-0.
Get a high fastball right here.
Oh, he's sitting dead red. Oh, he's sitting dead red right now. You're looking middle in if you're him. You want to go right field. He hasn't pulled one yet tonight. He up the middle and twice to left field. You're looking inside fastball. Oh, hits it to left center field.
Too.
Just missed it. Warning track. Just shy of the warning track. Hit it well.
He wanted that pitch outside. He left it out over.
So no jersey. Dominguez goes 1 for 4. But the one, a memorable one, 2-run home runs. Give him a little round of applause. Reminder that we've got a recap coming up after the game, about 10 minutes after the game. I got to throw together the highlights and all that good stuff, the stats on the screen. I have not written any kind of monologue tonight, so we're just going to BS and go through it real quick and just talk about the Martian.
The highlights is just going to be you playing the Dominguez home run 20 times in a row.
And I'm literally going to just put it on loop the entire time and just
hey, give the people what they want. You know they want it too.
Yeah.
This commercial is disturbing.
I hate commercials, man.
Gotta pay the bills.
I know.
That's funny because you work in marketing too.
Right. Speaking of which, tonight's watch party brought to you by Game Time. Use the code NYY Recaps for $20 off of your first purchase on last-minute tickets. Lowest price on last-minute tickets guaranteed. You can get baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, boxing, anything you want. Comedy, theater, Game Time. Use the code NYY Recaps. They're great. I used them recently to go to, or to get tickets to go see Jerry Seinfeld. And my wife won't watch this entire watch party, so I'm actually taking her to go see. She doesn't know this yet, but we're going to see A Christmas Carol too. We like that story.
It's a solid story. I wonder how the Padres did tonight. They probably lost.
Let's see if I can find the stats here.
They'll either have won 12-2 or lost 2-0.
All right. Which one are you going to take?
2-0.
They won 4-1, or they're up 4-1 in the third, so it might end up being 12-2.
Yeah, it's early.
So you want the stats or the? Let's see here.
All I want to know is how did Hassan Kim do?
Soto has his 26th home run, and Fernando Tatis hit number 21.
Well, no wonder they're winning. They're wearing the City Connect jerseys tonight.
I wish the Yankees had a City Connect.
You know they're too classy for that. They can't even wear facial hair, except for those sweet-ass mustaches.
Frankie doesn't like Christmas Carol, says it's too depressing. It's like literally the most uplifting story.
Right.
You gotta watch all the way to the end.
I love Scrooged.
Yeah, Scrooge with Bill Murray is great.
Yeah.
They have to be so scared to miss it. So terrified. I love that. That's probably my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah,
I watch it every year.
Yeah, that's one movie I always watch when it's on TV.
Prime Ghost keeps saying 1981 Ghost Story. I never saw it.
1981?
1981 Ghost Story.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yankees working on a victory. About to be 1-0 in the Baby Bombers 2.0 era.
Ooh, that's some good run on that.
Peralta's a free agent. Not sure if they'll bring him back. One thing that Cashman is great at is finding relievers, but he hasn't found a lot of good lefties, and Peralta's a good lefty.
You know who could build a good bullpen for the Padres was Kevin Towers. And
Yeah.
It's funny, I have a good Kevin Towers story. I was part of a group that went out to have a meeting with him at spring training. It's kind of like a Q&A. And one thing, this was when Sean Burroughs was on the team, and he had just come up. He was a rookie, and he played third base. And Phil Nevin was a third baseman. And Phil Nevin was moving over to first base to accommodate Sean Burroughs. And apparently, Phil Nevin really gave Sean Burroughs the business and would really tease him and really get on him, like call him Brooks Robinson and stuff like that. And Kevin Towers seemed really pissed off that he wasn't kind of creating this welcoming environment for the new rookie to come in. He really seemed kind of really pissed off at Phil Nevin.
Are you a Chargers fan too?
Chargers, what is that?
the football team?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, that team that plays in L.A. in front of no fans. Don't you have to have fans to be a real team? I don't know. Yeah, the way Spanos left the team or left the city was really bad. It was bad blood for years, and they threatened to leave every single year for about 10 years. So it got to the point where it's like, just leave.
Yeah.
We don't care.
For those of you just joining me, good friend Brett Moraes joining, former teammate, coach of the Raleigh Oaks championship team this year.
Oh, I see my brother in the chat. Kevin Towers is the man. I see you, Seymours.
So, how did you handle the Ryan Leaf thing? Super prospect that didn't pan out. I'd like if the Martian just went over 100.
I wanted Peyton Manning, but
yeah.
you know, it is what it is. Yeah, you could see that kind of coming a mile away.
I recently watched that movie Draft Day with
that was
Kevin
a great
Costner.
Themovie.
That was a really good movie.
My
Poor
wife
Chadwick
actually
Boseman.
really likes that movie.
Mine does too. She likes all the hard knocks and all the behind the scenes stuff. There's a new show on Netflix you might be interested in. It's called I think it's called Swamp Dogs or something. It's the story of the Florida Gators in the 2000s, the two-time college champs.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, they had Aaron Hernandez. He's not in the documentary though. Chris Leak. I saw Chris Leak when he was in high school.
Oh, that guy was a talent.
He
man.
threw 48 touchdowns his senior year in high school. I saw him win the state championship. I was working at a like as a vendor. My baseball team. That's like how we raised funds. Was that we sold programs and things like that. You know, at the stadium for the state championship. So I got to see Chris Leak. Never liked Tim Tebow though. He always seemed kind of preachy to me.
Yeah, I thought his baseball career was pretty interesting.
Frankie Baseball says, Aaron Hernandez, not a great guy. He was definitely not a nice man.
Yeah, the more I learn about this Hernandez guy.
Although he did break O.J. Simpson's record for murders. So let's hear it for Aaron Hernandez.
It's impressive.
Ugh.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson still around. Yeah, you know, speaking of like the Hard Knocks type of thing, do you remember that it was kind of like a Hard Knocks show with the Marlins back when they opened up the new stadium and Ozzie Guillen was their manager for the first year, and they had signed Heath Bell to be their closer.
I remember Heath Bell, yeah.
And they had this meeting, this private meeting between Heath Bell and Ozzie Guillen in Ozzie Guillen's office. And Heath Bell is saying, like, basically saying, I don't feel like you're confident in me when I'm out there in the ninth inning. You know, you get a guy warming up in the bullpen. I feel like you don't trust me. And Ozzie Guillen's got his feet up on the table and he's got his hands behind his head. And he's just like, you're right. Nobody trusts you. Like my wife doesn't trust you. My kid doesn't trust you. I'm the only one who trusts you. I'm the only one putting you out in the ninth inning. You know, my wife, my kids don't want you out in the ninth inning. I'm the only one doing it. You think I don't believe in you? I'm running you out there. And basically, he just dressed Heath Bell down. And, of course, he went on to have like a 6 ERA. It didn't work.
Yeah. Frankie says, well, it's official. Murder is legal in the state of California. Frankie's funny. Funny guy. Jonathan Loizaga coming in. He's got some great stuff. Opponent's average 0.98, ERA 0.71. Gets hurt a lot, but some of the best stuff in baseball.
I was going to say, he's only 12 innings. Was he hurt this year?
Yeah, he got hurt in April. He had bone chips in his elbow that had to be removed. I feel like at the end of every season, every pitcher, every hitter should have everything examined. Get that, like, executive workup. Have the x-rays on the elbow, and get all that stuff done in the off season.
I know. It really pisses me off when you find out somebody gets a surgery like in February. Like, why? But if I owned a team, if I had a bunch of money, I would invest so much in the minor leagues. I would have every minor league team, I would have a chef, I would have dietitians, I would have trainers. I would be putting so much money into player development.
They're talking about the white Bronco in the chat. They've either moved on to OJ or John Elway. Not sure. Frankie says the best part of the OJ chase was the Baba Booey call. Yeah, so like there were I was Dan Rather or somebody. He gets the call from I got this. We have OJ in the car.
Sam Donaldson.
Yeah, yeah.
I see him.
Yeah.
That was a totally farcical call.
All right, we're headed to the top of the ninth. We will get one more at bat from Austin Wells, one more at bat from Everson Pereira at least. Martian's probably done. But after the top of the ninth, we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to go get ready for the post game. Hope you guys have enjoyed this Martian watch party. Haven't done a lot of watch parties, but I've been anxious to check out the new, or to set up the new microphones and all that stuff. Seems like it's working.
Yeah, it looks good. Brought some good luck to the team.
Yeah, man. This has been a long game. It is 10:30.
So did the Yankees have some pretty good prospects in the lower minors, or is it all just kind of bubbling?
I feel like they've got a couple of good pitchers. They got Drew Thorpe. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's in either AA or AAA right now. They got Clayton Beater, who's at AAA. They got him for Joey Gallo. They've got Spencer Jones, who's like a left-handed version of Aaron Judge.
Yeah, the LCC grad, La Casa Canyon.
Big.
Class of 98.
Problem is, he strikes out a lot. So Judge had that problem too. So
well, you got a big strike zone.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping they do this winter is get him with the same hitting coach that Judge works with. He's this guy named the Teacher Man. He's like a hitting coach that doesn't work with any team. He's like a rogue.
Oh, I think I've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's Judge's personal hitting coach. He's working with a number of major leaguers. I would send Spencer Jones to work with him. Be like, hey, he's a left-handed Aaron Judge. Just teach him to hit like Aaron. Get the swing working exactly.
Why are they sending everybody him?
Lori C says, does anyone remember Stuttering John? I do too. I remember Stuttering John. My mic isn't, or my mouse isn't working great.
Jason could be 3 for 4. So you sent me video, and you know of this Ethan Salas guy for the Padres who reached AA.
Yeah, at 17.
17. That is just nuts.
Is he a realistic guy that could buzz through and be in the majors at like 18, 19, or is it just kind of one of those things where they needed a catcher? Let's get him some experience.
I think they bumped him up to AA to work with some pitchers up there.
Okay.
He really wasn't ready numbers-wise for it, but he looks like the real deal. I really wouldn't be surprised if he was in the majors by 19.
Jackson Holiday, there's been talk that he might get called up to the Orioles. I don't know. It might have even happened today. I haven't been paying attention, but
he's been incredible.
19 years old, just raking.
But, I'm encouraged that the teams are actually calling up the young kids and letting them play and not kind of manipulating the service time.
Yeah.
We need like another Joe Nuxhall, like a 15-year-old. Throw him out there. See what happens.
Sid Finch.
There's some kids in high school throw gas, man.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't blown out their arm yet.
I faced Jason Neighborgall.
Yeah, you told me about him.
101 miles an hour.
But it might be at your head, right?
So he threw great strikes in high school. He was teammates with him. He was great. William M says, "What pizza places do you have by me?" I don't know. We got a number of them. I'm probably gonna get Pizza Hut tonight. But he got drafted. He was expected to go number 1 in the draft, but his agent was Scott Boras, so he went to Georgia Tech, and he developed the Rick Ankiel yips, and he was never the same. Ended up still being like a 7th round draft pick or something like that because he threw 100 plus, so like 101 miles an hour, and he got drafted and he just never put it together in terms of like getting the yips fixed.
Do you remember a prospect named Matt Harrington?
I do not.
So this guy got drafted. He was a great talent, and I think he was out of Colorado. And he was drafted like 4th overall, I want to say, and he demanded like $5 million, something outrageous at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 1990, 2000, something like that. And he was represented by Boras, and he didn't sign, so he ended up playing the independent league. He was horrible in the independent league, and he dropped to the 2nd round the next year, demanded a 1st round money, didn't get it, so he went back to indie ball, was horrible again, went back into the draft again, was drafted in the 4th round, still didn't sign because his demand was too high, and he went back to the independent leagues, and then finally he was drafted like in the 12th round or something like that.
Wow.
He ended up never signing anything. He never played pro ball.
Pissing your life away.
It's like that, and that's a big red flag, because if you're trying to get paid, if that's going to be your payday, it's like, no, I want you to be wanting the payday to be in the major leagues.
Right.
Not at 18.
2-0 count on Austin Wells, looking to get his 2nd hit of the night. Takes one outside.
He's going to get a good pitch right here.
Oh, yeah, they're coming after him 3-0. Rookie, base open.
Up 6-2, 9th inning. Green light, man. Do it. Show some balls. Swing away.
Strike on the outside corner.
He looks like a ball player, though. So Rortvet's been shitting the bed, huh?
Has not been hitting.
Is defense at least okay? Oh.
Defense looks okay. Gets in on the hands of Wells, and he flares it to left field. And it's caught.
He just missed that.
Here's Everson. All these kids wearing high numbers. Number 80. Wells wearing 81. Oh, he almost threw that away. That was on the wrong trajectory. But, you know,
Got a big
tall first baseman, yeah. Our Brady's about 6'5", 6'6", I think. Oswald Peraza. He needs a hit, man. He looks shook. Like his face, he looks shook. C. Moray says, talk about Brian Mazzoni.
Oh, Brian Mazzone. Yeah, he's a guy I grew up with, left-handed pitcher. He was a career minor leaguer. I didn't talk to him for years since when I was a kid. But it was just kind of, we fooled around in street games, playing baseball in the sandlot. Anyways, I was working for the Bulls, and I saw his name on a AAA roster for the Lehigh Valley Pigs.
Yeah.
And he was their ace pitcher, and he was 29 years old, and he was having a great year. And he was called up to the majors to make an emergency start. And it rained. You know, because they just needed a starter, and he was the best pitcher, and so they called him up, and when he was warming up in the bullpen before the game, started raining, and the game got rained out.
And so he never got to start.
Yep, the rotation got reset, and he got sent back down. That was it. He never made it back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to get ready for the recap. Frankie just sent me the highlight reel, so we're going to go put together the show. Brett, thanks for stopping by and talking a little baseball. Let's hear it for the Martian. See you next time.